A visit to our nation's capital is always special, and for the Giants it brings with it memories of one of their finer moments. Game 2 of the 2014 NLDS. Brandon Belt hit an 18th inning home run that led the Giants to a win over the Nats and a 2-0 lead in that series. Much less drama on this visit, of course. The Giants will be facing one of the best teams in the game, though, and the leaders of the National League East. It's game 1 of a day-night doubleheader. Giants-Nats next. From our nation's capital, Giants baseball, the Giants and the Nationals, game 2 of the series. They played until about 1:15 this morning in this ballpark, and now back after it again. Welcome to NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Jeremy Affelt. Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow are on assignment. Dave Fleming will be along in the middle innings. And for the Giants, another long day here in Washington, but no rain in the forecast. It's a beautiful day for a ball game. Temperature will be about 80 degrees. Not nearly as stinking hot and humid as you might expect for this time of the year in this part of the country. And for the Giants, Chris Stratton, the rookie, goes in the first game. He's had some issues in the first innings of his first 2 starts as a big leaguer. And one thing is for sure, with another game to go after this one, the Giants need him to go fairly deep in this game.
Yeah, big test for the young man. This is a big start for him. It's a really good offensive team. He's going to have to try to get through the first inning quicker than he has his last few starts and go deep into the game. It is about saving the bullpens, but it's about winning as well. And Bruce Bochy's going to want to win the first game, so he's going to do whatever he can to win the first game of a doubleheader. But all eyes are on Stratton. It is an important start for him, and it's an important start for this team that he goes deep into the game.
Nationals will counter with a talented rookie of their own. A.J. Cole will go for them. Giants-Nats, game 1 of the day-night doubleheader. We'll be back with the lineups and then the first pitch right after this.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By State Farm, protect the things you've worked really hard for with auto and renter's insurance. Talk to an agent today. By Jack in the Box. Come try the new $4.99 Smoky Jack Burger Combo with small fries and a small drink. Limited time only. And by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon.
Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. And one of the racing presidents, Teddy Roosevelt, posing for photos outside. And here we go, ready to start the first game of the day-night doubleheader. And A.J. Cole misses outside, ball one. And a called strike. Starting game one right on time, 1:05 p.m. Temperatures in the high 70s to right around 80 degrees here for the first game. Threw him a hanging curveball and it was fouled back to the screen by Joe Panic. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. 80 degrees at game time. A 9-mile-per-hour wind out of the southwest. The humidity very low for this part of the country, 48%. Sunny, less humid in the forecast. And that is off. I think maybe the glove of Cole, and he deflected it just enough that it was still out of the reach of the shortstop, Defoe. So Panic is aboard with a leadoff single to center. Now the Giants lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Panic, as we just saw, leading off second base. Crawford at short. Coming up now, Parker in left. Pablo Sandoval hits cleanup. He's hitting .313 in 5 games with the Giants. A couple of doubles. Huntley the catcher. Ryder Jones at first. Carlos Moncrief in right field. Gorky Hernandez in center. And Chris Stratton the pitcher batting 9th. So here's Crawford. And the breaking ball on the outside at the knees for a called strike.
A.J. Cole for the Nationals, rookie, young starter for them, 5.63 ERA, just 16 innings pitched, 17 hits, 9 walks, 4 homers allowed. They hadn't made an adjustment, it doesn't seem like, to the league yet. They're hitting pretty good off him. And you saw Joe Panic hit that ball up the middle. You see 2 young guys with big starts today. He features all 4 of them. Fastball is predominantly what he's going to throw at you. He uses his slider as his expansion. Changeup's actually pretty good. Doesn't seem like anybody's really hitting it. He doesn't throw it a whole lot. Mixes an occasional curveball. Basically a fastball slider guy.
Two quick strikes to Brandon Crawford, Giants RBI leader, hitting only .232. And that's too high with the fastball. Cole had been with the Oakland Athletics and was involved in a trade before the 2013 season. In that deal, the Nationals also picked up Blake Trinan along with Cole. And it was a deal that saw Michael Morse go to the Athletics very briefly. There's a swinging strike 3. Snapped off that breaking ball in the dirt to get Brandon Crawford.
Defense on doubleheader Sunday behind Cole. Left to right, Lynn, Stevenson, and Goodwin. Third to first, Rendon, Defoe, Sanchez, Zimmerman. Catching Lobaton, pitching Cole. You saw there right there with Crawford. That's that slider that he's going to expand the zone with. He's going to go up, he's going to go down with it and away with it. And you'll see probably a lot of those today. It looks like he leaves the ball up in the zone. He'll give you something to hit throughout the at-bat, but if you don't take it, he's going to throw that breaking ball in and out of the zone.
Panic just back safely to first base on the pickoff throw. Panic is not much of a base stealer, but if you don't keep an eye on him, he's liable to go. He has 4 steals in 5 tries this year. Jared Parker with some power. Again, Panic is back. The wind seems to be, at least in the ballpark, the flags up above the scoreboard out in right center field indicate the wind is blowing across from left toward right. So there's the flags out in left field. So it looks like a ball to left might get a little opposition from the wind. A pop up, Rendon going down the line, and that is not playable either by Rendon or for the fan out there who just reached out and missed it.
Second chances, gave it to her anyway. Nice day today out though, John.
Well, you get rid of a lot of that humidity and it becomes a very pleasant day for a ball game and to be at the ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a high pop up on the first base side this time. Zimmerman over, but this too will not be playable. That one is well back into the seats. Cole was drafted by the Nationals originally in the 4th round, and was traded to the Athletics in the Gio Gonzalez deal before the 2012 season, and then traded back to the Nationals in a 3-sided trade involving the Athletics, Seattle, and Washington. Michael Morris ended up going to Seattle in that deal, sort of bounced off the Nationals to the Mariners, and then the next year the Giants acquired him, and he helped the Giants win it all in 2014. Michael Morris, who looks like the latest report is that concussion that he sustained the day of the feud between Hunter Strickland and Bryce Harper. It may have ended his season now. It's pretty much confirmed. Ball to the dirt on the inside. Stop sign put up by Jared Parker, trying to help coach the base runner. Joe panicked a little bit, knowing that the ball was blocked by Lobaton.
Yeah, rumors are we might be seeing him in Miami when we travel down there this next few days, but I don't think he's looking to be in a Giants uniform and be playing anytime this year. What a frustrating scenario. He's actually wasn't playing that bad for him. Big hitter, off power guy off the bench. Got tackled by his own guy.
They both coming from opposite directions, headed for the brawl between Strickland and Harper, and they ended up crashing into each other. There goes Panic. The ball is bounced foul. Panic did not get a very good break, and I don't know if he stumbled as he started to head out or what. Slipped on the clay out there. Anyway, it was fouled, so not a big deal.
It just watered that field, and it hasn't gotten time enough to dry yet. I think there's a little bit of some mud, and I don't know. It didn't look like he slipped. Just looked like he got going a little slow on that ball. Almost like he's running quicksand a little bit right there.
Looked like he was a cartoon character. The wheels started rolling, and before he started moving.
Yeah, I think those are the 1:30 a.m. game legs.
Strike 3 called to Parker. Two straight strikeouts for A.J. Cole.
Well, he mixed and matched on him the whole entire at bat, throwing that breaking ball, and that ball was a ball. It was not a strike, but it was a breaking ball that came back. He was looking at a lot of breaking balls down and in, and he decided to throw that one on the outside corner, which freezes a lot of hitters, but it should have frozen because it wasn't even a strike that a pitch he should have swung at. That ball was a generous strike there. A gift, as Kruko would say.
So 2 down. Panic still at first, and Cole, ever mindful of him, sends him back again. This was the collision. Morris got in between, and all of a sudden, from the other side came Jeff Samardzija, and Morse definitely got the worst of that. Samardzija was going for Bryce Harper.
I think Morse actually saved Harper there. I think Morse was coming in to kind of break him up, kind of get in between them. And Samardzija was not going in for a break it up scenario. He was going in for the football tackle. And I think Harper would have taken the hit on that one pretty good if Morse wouldn't have stepped in there. Unfortunately, Morse's season is over. Well, now Harper, who knows? After last night, his season might be in jeopardy a little bit with them, at least until the playoffs, from what we heard.
Pablo Sandoval now with a count of 1-1 strike. The latest on Harper, we learned last night, they said he suffered a hyperextension of the left knee and then a bone bruise. And today the Nationals said that they're confident that he will play again for them this year, which is sort of a rather oblique reference, I guess, to the idea of, well, what does that mean? I mean, at the end of September, at the end of next week?
Yeah, with a lead like they have right now in the East, it's a situation where bone bruise is best case scenario for what looked like a really nasty injury yesterday, but you sit him for a little bit, maybe even sit him for a month. You're not rushing him back. You give him the last 2 weeks of the season, get his timing down, and be ready for the playoffs. But that was a big situation that could have been really ugly for the Nationals, and instead ended up, I think everybody, Harper, the Nationals, the fans, baseball, everybody got kind of lucky knowing that he's going to be back in the playoffs for them this year.
Michael Taylor was activated from the disabled list today to replace Harper. Pedro Severino was activated as the 26th man for a doubleheader, which is allowed. Giants activated Orlando Caliste. Pablo Sandoval swings and misses. Strike 3. Panic leads off the inning with a single, and then 3 straight strikeouts for Cole. Southwest Airlines. Brian Goodwin, right field. Adrian Sanchez, the young shortstop. Anthony Rendon, third base. Ryan Zimmerman hitting cleanup. He's got the 8th highest slugging percentage in all of the National League, and having a big year, as you might expect. Adam Lind, who had 3 hits last night. Adam Lind, not like Chico Lind, the old second baseman for Pittsburgh. Adam Lind, left field. Wilmer Defoe, shortstop. Andrew Stevenson in center field, and Jose Lobaton, the catcher, hitting 8th. A.J. Cole, the pitcher, bats 9th.
Chris Stratton for the Giants, 6.63 ERA. Looking to probably get through the first inning a little quicker than he has. But he threw all right against the Diamondbacks the other day. He did pretty good. He settled in and started looking like a major league pitcher. This is a big start for him. Eliminating the left-handed hitter batting average is going to be something that's all about fastball command and mixing that slider in on the hands. But Hundley's a good guy for Stratton. He's a good game caller. Kind of can coach him through it, get him through it, and getting a veteran catcher back there for game 1 is a good thing, giving Buster a little bit of some time to get ready for the next game.
0-1 to Brian Goodwin, who's got power. And that's off the outside.
With this, if we learned anything from yesterday's game, John, it's they can hit the fastball up. And it's going to be something that Hundley's going to have to really get Stratton to do, is keep that fastball down and mix it up, because you're going to have to change speeds and get them off balance. So they're pretty comfortable on a fastball. His pitch usage is a lot of fastballs, and like I said, the Nationals like to hit fastballs. His curveball, slider, and changeup. His slider curve, he kind of uses similar percentage of the time, but with lefties, maybe throw that back foot curveball. Righties throw the slider. There's that curveball right there we were just talking about. And he's got to keep these guys off balance some way. He's used a lot of fastballs, so he's going to have to command. He's got a 4-seam and a 2-seam fastball he likes to mix in, but getting that fastball down against this team is very, very important.
Chris Stratton in under the hands. It's blooped, and there's panic. 1 away.
Defense game 1 for the Giants behind Stratton. This afternoon from left to right, Parker, Hernandez, and Moncrief. Third to first, Sandoval, Crawford, Panic, and Jones. Nick Hundley catching. Chris Stratton pitching. Hopefully throwing up zeros today.
So here is Adrian Sanchez. Adrian Sanchez, 314 average. He's, after a slow start, been hitting the ball really well lately. He's been hot, even though he has played sporadically. And the count is 0-1. Sanchez, the Nationals have really had a lot of guys come up in the minor leagues because of injuries and do an excellent job, and Sanchez is just the latest in a long line of guys who've done that. Now that's a sharp curveball. 0-2. Sanchez had 35 at bats, 3 doubles, and most of his hits have come lately in bunches after he got off to a slow start. And another one in the dirt, but taken by Sanchez. Rendon is on deck. That ball got thrown out to Stratton, went right over him, and ended up being retrieved by Jerry Meals, the second base umpire. Stratton here with Sanchez batting has shown a pretty good sharp curveball. And that one just froze him. I don't know that that's the one he wanted to throw at 2 strikes, but it worked very effectively.
It does, and the reason that curveball works so well is it is not the one you want to throw, but after the curveballs he threw earlier that stayed away, that almost probably looked like it came right at his head. And it is a really tough curveball for a hitter to pull the trigger on if he has not seen it yet, and he's looking more away, and you can see he was diving out, but the 2 curveballs that he threw Sanchez prior to that curveball set up the ability for that curveball to be thrown, and he didn't get away with it.
But now you've explained why it was effective. Is that what he was actually trying to throw?
No, he was trying to throw the one that he threw the first time, kind of starting on the corner going straight down. He just sped up a little bit. But when you can throw the curveball that he threw the first time against him, and then you can throw the second curveball just a little further off, it allows you to make a mistake in that situation to where you can lock guys up because they have to look out and lean out over the plate to protect, and it kind of locked him up.
Anthony Rendon, it's a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's an explanation from a guy who threw a lot of curveballs over the years, Jeremy Affeldt.
And a lot of bad ones like that. John got away with it, you know.
So you know what you're talking about there.
Exactly how to get away with a bad curveball.
Over the middle, base hit into center field.
The Nissan keys of the game. Starters need to grind out the innings today. We got 2 doubleheader. We have a bullpen. The Giants have a bullpen with no day off in sight. They're going to have to grind out some innings and try to save that pen for all the way thinking about the entire week. Win game 1 in a doubleheader. It's very important not to think doubleheader. It's think win the first game and then we'll deal with the second game. But winning game 1 is very, very important in a doubleheader.
Ryan Zimmerman. The power is up. And Rendon got a hit, but it's the kind of hit that you're happy to accept. The guy like Rendon has got lots of power, 21 homers, 26 doubles, but now Zimmerman, 26 homers, 27 doubles, and 82 runs batted in. Big year for the veteran Ryan Zimmerman. That's called strike. 1-2. The umpiring alignment for today's game: Ryan Blakeney is behind the plate. Ryan Adderton is at first base, and he was brought up in the minor leagues for this doubleheader. Jerry Meals at second, Chris Guccione at third. Chris Conroy has been part of this crew, and I think he will join for the second game of the doubleheader. And I guess he'll be probably the home plate umpire for the second game. And Blakeney, the home plate umpire here in game 1, will take the evening off. He started that a few years ago, and I think it's a good idea. The 2 home plate umpires in the doubleheader only work the plate and no more. And that's the inning. Zimmerman retired. Pretty good pitch there to Zimmerman from Stratton. Strong start for Stratton. Nick Hundley will be coming up. The game, former Giant Michael Morse as a National. Game 5, the elimination game in the division series 2012, and that home run made it 6-0, and it knocked Cardinal starter Adam Wainwright out of the game. And for a while it looked like that might have been one of the biggest home runs in Nationals history, but the 6-0 lead did not hold up. And the Cardinals eventually, with a 4-run 9th inning, ended up beating the Nationals 9-7, and they were the ones who moved on into the league championship series against the Giants. And as Nick Hundley takes ball 1 from A.J. Cole, I'll never forget the Giants having won their series in Cincinnati the day before. They stayed the night and most of the next day not knowing where they were going to go. If the Nationals had won, then they were going to go to Washington. But with the Cardinals winning, they were going to go home to face the Cardinals. So as the game got into the late innings, the Giants went out to the airport. The plane was ready for them, and they sat on the plane, and everybody was watching that game, the final couple of innings, wondering where they were headed. And it certainly, when everybody headed to the airport, they thought, well, we're heading to Washington. And ultimately, as we just talked about, the Cardinals came from behind from a 6-0 deficit in that 5th game to win it, and the Giants were going home to face the Cardinals there. As that ball goes inside, and it's 3-1. to Nick Hundley. And the amazing part of that was the plane, because it looked like such a sure thing they were headed to Washington. The plane was fueled as if they were going Cincinnati to Washington. Not such a long flight.
Yeah.
Then they're going to San Francisco, and they had to find the fuel people in the middle of the night to come out and to fuel the plane to go to San Francisco instead. And so the Giants never left Cincinnati until, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning. They had to get a new flight plan filed and the plane all fueled up. But a very happy ending. Despite the long night, the Giants ended up beating the Cardinals after falling behind them 3-1 in a very amazing league championship series. And then they swept the Tigers in the World Series. That was the year 2012. Michael Morse, a national at that time. And that's all for Hundley. A.J. Cole comes back after falling behind him 3-1 to get his 4th consecutive strikeout.
Join us at AT&T Park against the Phillies August 17th through the 20th. Thursday and Friday, the games will be at 7:15. Saturday, a special 6:05 start. And Sunday, the 20th, enjoy summertime baseball with a 1:05 start. Tickets available at sfgiants.com. Yeah, the interesting part even about that Red Series, John, is we knew going in that we might have to play the Nationals or St. Louis depending on their situation, but then we were in a loser out scenario, so we had so much luggage packed. Some guys didn't know if they were going home from Cincinnati. Some guys didn't. We didn't know if we were going to the Nationals. We didn't know if we were going to go back to San Francisco. So we actually had our luggage packed for like 3 different scenarios.
Ryder Jones into the gap in right center field. That's going to go through to the out-of-town scoreboard. Stevenson gets it back in as Jones has a double. So Ryder Jones gets his first major league double. He got his first major league homer before he got his first double.
This pitch here looked like a changeup, left on the outside corner just up enough for Ryder to get to it. Put a good piece of wood on that ball and got a double out of it. Starting to like that kid a little bit. Plays a good little first base, hits the ball hard.
She had a great night here last night with the glove at first base. So here's Carlos Moncrief. Moncrief, 3 hits, 11 at bats for the Giants. Moncrief has a double, a couple of singles, and a run batted in for the Giants. 273 average. He was signed as a pitcher by the Cleveland Indians, and his dad was a pitcher, Homer Jones. And his dad never realized his dream of getting to the big leagues. And that's a called strike. After Moncrief was signed by Cleveland as a pitcher, they eventually, and sooner rather than later, converted him to being an outfielder. But he still has that great arm, and we've seen that from the outfield the few times he's played out there. The best arm the Giants have in the outfield. And now it's a ball and 2 strikes. Nothing score. Runner at second, 1 out. In the second inning, Gorkys Hernandez is on deck.
Yeah, very surprising on the inside the park homer when he decided he picked that ball up and pretty much from his back leg threw that ball all the way to home and almost got him. I think if the grass they thought was even a little bit shorter out there at 18, that ball might have skipped right to the glove a little bit quick. He'd been out. He showed his arm off a couple times in that Diamondback series.
Did the grass kind of caught the ball just a little bit, and the hop ended up being very high. Buster came up with the throw cleanly enough, but having to go up and then come back down. That was just enough time for the runner to slide in safely. But the crowd was, I think, astonished by that throw from Carlos Moncrief. Now it's 2-2.
Even Madden, when they're playing Chicago, I mean, he showed off his arm both in the Arizona and Cubs series, but I think Madden even made a comment like that might have been the greatest arm he's seen since Bo Jackson almost. You know, like he definitely has a good arm. I think they can put him on the bump if they want to, you know, if they have to. Throwing 98.
Joe Madden said that he's got Jason Hayward, who's got one of the stronger arms in the game. Moncrief trying to show that he can hit like a big leaguer. They like what they've seen from him in the outfield, obviously. Jones at second, 1 out. 2-2 the count. And it's a full count. You've got the right-handed hitter, Gorkys Hernandez, on deck. Another game to go after this one at 4:05. First pitch for game 2. And it will be Matt Moore for the Giants and Max Scherzer for the Nationals. 3-2 the count. And he walked him. In game 2, Giants pregame live will start at 3:30. And then into the telecast of the game itself starting at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Beautiful day today. We got scattered clouds with the humidity having eased back considerably. Game time temperature 80 degrees, and we can see the Capitol. The Capitol Dome is reflecting the bright sun today. A beautiful sight here from Nationals Park. Gorkys Hernandez, 256 average. Gorkys had got off to a horrible start to the season. He's hit much more effectively here the last month or so. And that's a called strike, the check swing. Gorkys has hit .317 in his last 18 games, which is about the last 4 weeks of play. Gorkys, though, does not hit for power. He has not had a home run. 238 official at bats. Strike 2 called on the outside. Gorkys thought that may have been a little bit off the outside. What does PitchCast say? Pitch track.
Right on the black.
On the black. Now that is a pitcher's strike, isn't it?
It's a pitcher's strike, and it's really hard to duplicate. In fact, when pitchers don't get those strike calls, they get frustrated because it's really hard to make that pitch. But it is a pitcher's pitch, and it's tough for any hitter to want to have any. They can't really do anything with that pitch. They'll end up grounding out, so he really doesn't want to swing at it if he doesn't have to.
So it's still 0-2 as he fights one off. Now, Gorkys is a key man in this scoring opportunity because the pitcher, Stratton, is the man on deck. So if you're going to get a run, they'd like to see Gorkys be the guy who go ahead and cast somebody in. Stratton in the on deck circle. Gorkys has not hit well with runners in scoring position, though, this year. Looking, Jones back at second. Gorkys Hernandez in this scenario is hitting only .183 for the year with a runner or runners in scoring position, second base or third base, or both. In this case, second base. 2 strikes to count. That is a base hit. Goodwin is going to throw home. Not in time. Ryder Jones scores standing up, and Gorkys Hernandez gets that clutch hit with a count of 0-2. 1-0 Giants.
Looked like a backup slider that he was trying to throw right there, and it kind of just hung back up over the middle of the plate. There's just a looped right down the middle. He put a good little swing on it, hit it where he should have hit it. RBI. Rally keeps going, still just 1 out.
So Gorkys comes through. And here is Chris Stratton. 3 straight Giants have reached base after Huntley led off the inning striking out. Jones hit a double. Moncrief walked, and then Gorkys with the RBI single. So Stratton, what do you think? Is he bunting?
I would say he's bunting, yes. Good bunt.
Out to get it. Lobaton throws him out at first. The runners move up. Moncrief to third. Hernandez to second. The big thing there is just, you're Bruce Bochy, you don't want to see him ground into a double play. You'd like to see a real hitter come up with a chance to drive somebody in.
And Panic, the way he's swinging the bat right now, he can do some damage. We saw a home run last night from him. can hit singles, can hit doubles. He's your best bet to get 2 RBIs.
Joe Panic, single to center, his first time up. Now a base hit could mean 2 more runs for the Giants with Moncrief at third, and Gorky Hernandez is a fast runner at second. So a single to the outfield, he should score. 1 ball and no strikes. That's a base hit. Moncrief scores. Gorky Hernandez will score as the throw goes into second. Joe Panic comes through in the clutch. It is 3-0 Giants.
That's exactly why he wanted to get that bunt down the way he did. You want to get both guys a second and third. Runners in scoring position. Both guys will be in running scoring position. A single, just a single. You don't need to do too much. He put the ball right where he needed to put it. He kind of went with that breaking ball a little bit and rolled it through the hole. Both guys score. Crooked number on the board.
And Joe Panic, who hit a home run his first at bat last night, and he's got 2 hits and 2 at bats so far today, and now a couple of RBIs more. Gives him 40 RBIs for the year. And here's Brandon Crawford, who struck out his first time. In the dirt, blocked by Lobaton. 1 ball and no strikes. Brandon Crawford, anxious to get it going. His on-base percentage is only .278. Crawford, we're used to seeing him at least keep his average up around .260, .270, and get some walks. But this has been his worst year so far with the bat since around the time he first came up. And in those days, when he first came up back in 2011, the idea was, well, he's going to be great with the glove. We don't know if he's going to hit or not. Last year, he had a .342 on base percentage, which is more than acceptable. And he knocked in 84 runs for the Giants. Knocked in 84 the year before, and had 21 home runs the year before. Crawford had .275 last year, but only .231 so far this year. And not getting walks either.
Sometimes you'll go through a season like that, just for whatever reason you're just not seeing the ball, and you're not making good decisions on what balls you do decide to swing at. And
well, this time he made good decisions. 4 straight times, just took the pitches.
So you didn't give him much to swing at right there. But I just think that, you know, Brandon's such a good athlete. He has a good idea of how to play the game, and he has a good idea at the plate too. It just seems like when he decides to pull the trigger on swinging at a ball, it just doesn't seem to be the right one. And I think it could be a mental adjustment, could be a little bit of a physical adjustment he needs to make maybe in the offseason, how he gets ready this next year. But sometimes bumps in the road kind of help you become a better player overall, and that definitely can happen for Brandon. He's such a good baseball player that it is surprising what he's hitting, but I think that I don't think it's going to be a situation next year where the same thing plays out. I think you'll see an adjustment being made.
Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, has paid a visit. This will be the 26th pitch of this inning, and it's a called strike. Little wrinkle at the end there to Jarrett Parker, and it's 0-1. 2 walks in the inning allowed by A.J. Cole. And of the 2 outs he's recorded, one of the hitters was trying to make it out with a bunt. Chris Stratton. Panic at second, Crawford at first. Oh, 2 now. Parker struck out looking his first time. Both runners ready to take off at the crack of the bat, but it never happens. He struck him out again. But the Giants get 3 runs. Chris Stratton back to the mound with a 3-0 lead.
tonight, the other night at the ballpark. The guitars James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett used to perform the national anthem. Baseball and music items autographed by Buster Posey and the full band are available. For more info or to bid, visit sfgiants.com/GCF. The auction ends tonight at 5:30. And this special fundraiser benefits the Giants Community Fund and the Buster and Kristen Posey Fund for Pediatric Cancer Research at the V Foundation.
Last of the second inning. Chris Stratton now with a 3-0 lead. Throws a called strike to Adam Lind. Lind last night was 3 for 3 plus a walk. 2 singles and a double. 317 average for him now. And that is strike 2 called. Giants have the overshift. 3 infielders to the right of second. Pablo Sandoval is at short. Nobody at third. Defoe will follow, and then Stevenson due up third. Foul. A little flare off the third base side. Past the third base coach, Bob Henley. Davey Lopes coaching over at first base for the Nats, the former Dodger and one of the great base stealers of his era. There's Davey. Still an excellent base running coach. And the curveball puts him away. Wow. Snapped off a beauty right there.
You know, looking at the splits before the game, it looked like that he was mixing the slider and curveball in almost about the same amount. But that curveball right there, the one he's been throwing tonight, it's so top to bottom that it's just falling off the table right at the hitting plane. And that's what's going to get guys to swing like that, because it's so late and it breaks so late at the plate that when by the time the hitter commits to it, it just disappears on him. You're getting some really bad swings.
So here's Wilmer Defoe. Defoe takes ball 1. Sandoval plays him shallow at third. The fastball is very high. 2-0. Defoe, a switch hitter. He has been stronger batting right-handed so far this year. Overall, a .278 hitter nonetheless. Hitting .386 batting right-handed though. He got the low strike, and Defoe is just very unhappy about that call. That was a low pitch right there.
I like it. It's right at the bottom of the zone. Look at that.
What?
So for me, at times, I can see now this is where if you can get the pitch off, this is where that breaking ball in the dirt will end up.
Well, he threw him a high fastball, and Defoe gets the base hit into right center.
See, I don't know about that pitch. I mean, I don't like to second-guess pitchers a whole lot, but maybe he could have got it in a little bit more. But I like a pitch right after that. When a hitter feels like the ball's down and he can't swing, to throw that curveball in the dirt, usually you get swings. After you come down like that and you come up, if it's not up, if you're not changing an eye level and you're kind of leaving it belt high, he can do exactly what he did, pulls his hands there and puts a pretty good swing on the ball. I like to follow pitches a lot of times based on hitters' reactions, because sometimes they just don't like what they're seeing and they'll end up chasing.
So here is Andrew Stevenson, and that's a called strike.
See that pitch right there, if you would have thrown it, starts at the hip and comes right back into the plate. And that is a very difficult pitch for any hitter on a front hip sinker like that to pull the trigger on, because it locks him up. It looks like it's coming right at him. It's a very effective pitch if you can repeat it.
Going to the outside now. Curveball. Foul. Ryder Jones. Nonetheless, made the throw over the second. But and I like that. Ryder Jones, he wasn't going to just wait around to find out. He said, well, I'm not sure which way he's going to call, so I'm going to make the play on the guy.
Better safe than sorry.
Oh, is it your mother who told you that?
Yeah. Well, it's actually my mother and father, and occasionally my sister. I think they all used to parent me that way.
0-2 the count to Andrew Stevenson. Ooh. Now that, I'm sure, is one that you're very happy to see.
Oh, yeah.
2 down. Ryder Jones did make a couple of plays on fair balls last night. The Togo's big play, the Togo's way. That one robbed Bryce Harper of a possible extra base hit. And then later in the game, going the other way. Wow. And he, with considerable help there from Samardzija. There might not have been many pitchers in the big leagues who got there as quickly as Samardzija did to make that play on a fast runner.
Well, some of us could get there.
I mean, since you retired, I guess I should say.
Yeah, right.
Andrew Stevenson, a very fast runner, is the one who hit that ball. And Ryder Jones robbed him of the hit, and then Samardzija, like he was a wide receiver at Notre Dame again, was there to accept that pass from Jones as the ball is fouled off the leg of Lobaton, the catcher. Ouch. Kidding me? I play once a week and this happens?
Oh, that's shin. That's a shin burner. Don't rub it. Ice it after the game. Oof. Walk it off.
I mean, why not rub it?
You just don't want to rub it. You know, we usually would yell, "Don't rub it" if you got hit. You don't want to show that it hurt.
You mean show the pitcher that it?
Yeah, you just don't rub it. Like if you get hit with a line drive back up at you, and you get hit with it, you just you don't want to. Don't rub. We used to yell, "Don't rub it." You know, don't. You know, nothing hurts you, even though you kind of feel like crying.
So it may not be that convincing. You didn't rub it, but you got tears flowing down your.
Well, he's got sunglasses on, so he's probably tearing up. You can't see it. It's good. Pitchers don't get that luxury.
1 ball and 2 strikes now to Lobaton. Looked a little frustrated that he did not do more with that pitch. He's still kind of shaking his head, talking to himself. All these years I've been hitting and playing, I don't hit that ball. Come on. Jose Lobaton. He's been around a long time. Several years with the Tampa Bay Rays down in Florida. And back to the bag is Defoe. Defoe runs pretty well. He got 5 steals in 6 tries this year. Ryder Jones on the bag with him. The Giants ahead 3-0, a 3-run second inning. Put them ahead. Gorkis Hernandez knocked in a run with a single, and Joe Panik knocked in 2 more. 2-2 the countdown. Missed badly with that one.
Hundley asked for the high fastball. I would probably be willing to bet he wasn't wanting it that high. But he's trying to change eye level right there. Kind of rode up on him a little bit, but it's a smart pitch, especially with the curveball he's throwing right now. You're going to see Hundley want a lot of high fastballs because he can throw the curveball off that and get a lot of chase. Just
there,
like that.
Yeah. Well, Hundley did not realize apparently that the ball had been ruled to swing. He wonder why nobody was covering at second, and he wanted to go tag the run. Well, anyway, Nick, inning over. Stories on this date, 1903, 114 years ago, the Giants swept a doubleheader from the Cardinals in New York. In Game 1, Hall of Famer Christy Mathewson defeated another Hall of Famer. Three-Finger Brown. It was the second of their what would be 23 career matchups. So then they had another ball game after that, and Three-Finger Brown was in his rookie season that year. In the offseason, the Cardinals traded him to the Cubs, where he had many more great years. The doubleheader, by the way, was the fourth doubleheader of that month. It was August 13th, and they would play 11 doubleheaders that August.
Ooh.
Giants of the Polo Grounds.
How'd they do that year?
Christy Mathewson that year was a 30-game winner. He went 30 and 13.
Well, I mean, he probably had to pitch in every one of those doubleheaders. He had like 9 extra starts.
Pablo, soaring fly ball, and there is Goodwin right near the foul line. Pablo struck out his first time, flies out. I think he just missed launching that one.
He did. I thought he actually launched it from way up here. I could read the seams on the ball, so I thought he hit it high enough to get it out of here.
He kind of hung there for him. Just a little bit under it. So here comes Nick Hundley. Giants ahead 3-0. Nick Hundley had a couple of anxious moments after Lobaton's check swing. Plate umpire ruled it a swing. The runner was going to second, and Hundley wanted to throw him out, and nobody was covering. He's like, what's going on out here?
Yeah, I think Hundley kind of sidestepped and did karaoke all the way to the pitcher's mound before he figured out that it was. And then he tried to run back and tag Lobaton because he didn't know if he was going to run to first, and he was not quite out of the box. It was kind of a chaotic mess right there for him. His heart rate went up a little bit.
Hundley struck out his first time facing A.J. Cole, the rookie, and quickly it's 0-2. Giants leading 3-0. Third inning of the first game. The sun, by the way, what happened to the sun? The sun disappeared. It was so beautiful. Now it's gray. Kind of down looking. Sanchez throws out Hundley, out number 2. Here's that play we're talking about. Watch Hundley. Plate umpire said, well, he looked at the third base umpire. He said a swing.
And the plate umpire said, no, that's a strike. Wait, you're out. I don't think the plate umpire knew how many strikes there were either. I don't think anybody knew what was going on except for Crawford that was already in the dugout.
But he pointed to the third base umpire
to see if he check swung, and when he check swung, he said, yeah, it's a strike. And then he's like, oh, wait, you're out. It's not. I mean, it's a. Whew.
So Hundley was not being told anything. No wonder he didn't realize that it had been ruled a swing. He just sees that guy going for second. He's like, well, I want to throw this guy out. Where is everybody? Ryder Jones, he led off, or he was the second batter of the second inning and started the 3-run rally with a double. Now the fly ball to center, right to Stevenson. That is a very quick inning for A.J. Cole. 3-0 Giants after 2.5. NBC Sports Bay Area in a first-of-its-kind tournament. The best players in the world in the Rocket League video game face-off in a 2-on-2 competition in the West Regional Final. An overall purse of $100,000 is at stake today, 2 o'clock on NBC Sports Bay Area. The winner will compete in the grand final August 26th and 27th on NBC Sports Network. So the best players in the world in the Rocket League video game facing off.
Yeah, I'm thinking about taking up video game play. $100,000,
a little less wear and tear on your shins and your elbow and your shoulder.
I have to ice down your thumbs, but
you not have grand. You not have to wear a knee brace
or two.
1 ball, 1 strike to Nationals pitcher A.J. Cole leading off in the 3rd against Stratton. Stratton and the Giants with a 3-0 lead here. Goodwin, the leadoff man, on deck, and then Adrian Sanchez due up 3rd. And Stratton is too high with it. Stratton, as you see the cloud that is blocking the sun from shining here at the ballpark. That's a called strike 2. Goodwin, the leadoff man, is on deck. Stratton gave up a 1-out single in the 2nd inning, but he also had 3 strikeouts in the 2nd inning and has 4 strikeouts the first 2 innings. Cole went up after that one. Had a pretty good rip at it, too. You see that as a pitcher from another pitcher. You say you don't need to look at his stats. You say, well, this guy got to be a little bit careful with it.
Yeah. Or he got lucky. I'm going to throw him a curveball and we'll call it a day.
Okay, that's,
you know.
Let's see how he does with this. Well, he came after him with another. Okay, if I'm Stratton, I'm convinced. Okay, this guy maybe can hit a fastball.
Fastball up, yeah, he can hit that. I never really like to mess around. When I had face hitters, the second I got them in a two-strike count, I would throw curveballs because they don't practice hitting curveballs a lot, and I just don't like to mess around with a potential high heater.
Well, now he's 3-2.
There was the curveball right there. He just kind of threw it way outside. He didn't really give the pitcher even a chance to even see it as a strike. It was a ball. I'll give it to him. He's putting together a pretty good at bat.
So it's full count. He needs to throw him a strike here. And he chopped it foul.
A little different swing on the fastball down than the fastball up. And I think that's kind of the important thing for Stratton today. But he's been showing it. He's been showing how he can get that fastball down, and when he does get it up, he gives up hits. Or
you subscribe to that theory, though, a pitcher's more liable to hit a high pitch than a low pitch?
I am, because it's a protected swing, and you're just kind of, that's the quickest area where I can, if a pitcher sees a ball up, they see it and they just can kind of almost barrel it and sometimes even run into it for a hit. You know, we're down and it looks a long way from the eyes. You're going to hit the top of the baseball most of the time and hit it right to the ground.
Well, this is the 10th pitch to Cole, and he's going to have to throw at least one more. So Cole's already won this duel.
Yep, he did what he needed to do, especially leading off an inning, where a lot of times when you get that, when he struck out Lobaton, it was like a perfect scenario to have a pitcher be the first guy up because you could get a quick out. Well, that's not been that. It's run the pitch count up a little bit on Stratton.
3-2. Pablo, and he does get Cole, but only after throwing 11 pitches to him. One away. Dave Fleming described all of that over in the KBR radio booth, and he'll be moving over here in the middle innings. I'm John Miller with Jeremy Affeldt, Dave Fleming along as well. Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow on assignment. Dwayne Kuiper will be back in the booth tomorrow in Miami with Jeremy. So here is Brian Goodwin, the leadoff man. Sandoval plays him shallow at third. He's got a lot of speed. And a changeup, ball one. Another game to be played for the Giants after this one. They lead this one 3-0. Last of the third inning. And it's 0-2. Threw him another off speed.
It's a back-to-back changeup, which shows some maturity and some confidence in the pitches he's throwing. He kind of threw that first changeup, he took it, so he said, I'm going to try it again. Threw it for a strike, got to swing through.
And another one off the outside, up a little bit. 2-1 the count. I like that shot where you see the pitcher and over the dugout. There it is. Dave Righetti, the pitching coach, watching intently. Strike 2 called, a fastball on the outside. That is smoked into right field hit. Some good ones, first hit of the game.
It almost looked like, which surprises me, but almost looked like that entire at bat, Goodwin was looking off speed because he didn't even try to offer at that fastball. And the first slider he threw out there, he jumped on it. It is almost looking like he didn't even want to swing at a fastball, and he's like, I know what I'm looking for. I'm going to get this one pitch, and he threw a changeup, got him out in front a little bit, but then he threw a great fastball, and he didn't even offer at it. And then he comes with that little slider, and he jumped on it.
So here is Adrian Sanchez. And that's how to play off to the right. So if he had thrown him another fastball, he might not have even gotten off a swing then, if that's what he was doing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It did seem like he pulled the trigger. He was a little bit more hitterish, and he swung at that ball with a little more conviction than he even attempted to swing at the fastball 2-2. And it can almost sometimes, next time he comes up, the strategy might change on how they face him.
Off the inside to Sanchez. Sanchez called out on strikes in the first inning. Giants got 3 runs in the second inning. Marquis Hernandez, an RBI single, and then with 2 down, Joe Panic knocked in 2 runs with a single. Foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sun trying to break through the cloudiness overhead. And right now the sun is shining in the outfield, third base, shortstop. Not so much on the mound and home plate though. And now it kind of pops through. And that is the strikeout.
Great pitch. Tied up his hands in that fastball in. A little movement running in underneath the hands there.
That's 5 strikeouts. In 2 2/3 innings.
With that fastball. See that fastball with just a lot of late movement. Looks like a strike on the inside the entire time and ran about 6 inches off the plate, and it just darted on Sanchez there and tied up his hands. Made him look silly.
Now the power with Anthony Rendon. Called ball 1. Seems like he called one of those a strike not so long ago.
Yeah, it's because it is a strike, John. He should be calling that a strike. Man. I think he's apologizing to Nick right now. Sorry, I missed that.
Into center. Just a high, lazy fly. Gorky's coming in on it. Dave Fleming will be coming along in the 4th inning. The Giants will have Moncrief, Gorky, Hernandez, and Stratton coming up. Giants 3, Washington 0.
take on the Phillies at 6:05. You're going to want to be one of the first 40,000 fans to show up. You'll get a Virgin America 2-for-1 voucher. The offer is valid on Virgin America and Alaskan Airlines. Restrictions do apply. Tickets always available at sfgiants.com. And with me in the booth, hopefully still not contemplating his existence, Dave Fleming.
Last night was a little more existential for me. Today I'm in a good mood. I'm here. It's a beautiful day.
Sun's out. Yeah. Vitamin D.
Oh yeah, makes such a difference, doesn't it? Nice to be with you.
Yeah, watching a good baseball game right now.
We are 3-0 Giants. Couple of clutch hits in the second. Carlos Moncrief was a part of that rally. Drew a walk. He seems to have a competitive at bat almost every time up.
He does. Stratton, this is probably the best I've seen him throw. He's been awesome.
Good, looked like a changeup from A.J. Cole. 0-2. Stratton's been sharp. Carlos Moncrief, he played that long in the minor leagues. He scratched and clawed his way up to this big league level. He's got a real understanding of the strike zone as a hitter. He will battle you. He hits that one high to shallow right field. Sun very bright. Sunglasses on for Goodwin. One away.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching just his at-bats, how he plays the field, his composure. He just seems like he's a guy that has grinded it out in minor leagues. He gets his shot at the big leagues, and right now it doesn't seem like he's wasting any time taking advantage of the situations that he has. He's played pretty good since the games that he's been in.
He doesn't look overwhelmed. He doesn't look intimidated. He looks like he belongs.
He's done a great job.
Here's Gorkis, who had a heck of an at bat his first time up. He was in an 0-2 hole, fought off a tough pitch, and then got one that he could handle, and then lined a base hit to knock in the first run of the game.
I'm glad the Giants stuck with him. They must have seen something. He was struggling so bad early in the year, but they never really even thought about moving him, and now his last few months, he's been hitting over 300 since the All-Star break, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he has been one of the hotter Giants hitters. Still looking for his first home run. Hadn't been a ton of power, but that's not his game. He chased there in a 2-0 count. Playing center field here in game 1. We will see a different looking lineup for game 2 tonight. 4:05 Pacific, first pitch time for the second game of today's doubleheader. Our pregame live right here on NBC Sports Bay Area, 3:30 Pacific. Just get you all ready to go.
Nice short day for those boys back there, the pre and post.
Ball 4. Gorkis takes a walk. They're not digging ditches.
No. Estes, he's eating a lot of pizza.
That is a danger. If you're now, for us, sometimes we can fall in that trap when you're calling. But when you're calling a game, there's not a lot of downtime. If you're in the studio, there is downtime.
Oh man.
And that can be, yeah, a lot of that.
There's New York style pizza like right across the street. Ooh, good Italian spot. You can crush some food. I mean, I've seen guys crush food.
Right.
When I did it, I was watching it.
An athlete like you, food is just fuel, right?
Yeah. Vegetables, meats, no pastas.
Stratton took the pitch with Gorkis running. The throw is late. That's a steal. So the show of the bunt, and then the pitch was so far up and in, Stratton pulled the bat back, and Gorkis was able to steal the base anyway.
Does he bunt him to third? As hot as Panic is right now, do you bunt him? I think you got to bunt him now.
Well, I don't know. The downside would be he's already in scoring position with one out. I think you let him hit. Of course, I say that right as he's swinging away.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a really risky call there, Dave.
I don't know, Jeremy. 1-1 to Stratton. With nobody out, I think he certainly would be bunted. Maybe he would like to give A.J. Cole a little taste of his own medicine. What was that, an 11 pitch at bat?
I think 12th. I think it was 11. I think he got out on the 12th pitch, I think. And he had to throw a slider, 3-2 slider to do that. It was a good at bat by Cole. I'll give it to him.
For a guy who's never had a hit. That one chopped to second. Almost like a bunt. 2 down. Up comes Panik, who's 2 for 2 and has knocked in 2 of the 3 Giants runs. Good leadoff this afternoon. It's not like he's never done that before, but not a lot of games in the leadoff spot for Joe Panik.
I mean, I know they have the lineup scenario, and I don't question Bochy a whole lot, if ever, but I like him at the top of the order in the 1 or 2 hole. I thought he did great in the 2 hole, but I know that they have different scenarios in play right now that they can't do that. But I think he does good at the top of the order.
0-1.
Pretty good eye. Handles the stick pretty well. Knows what he's swinging at. Can swing for power when he needs to, but he's gonna put the ball in play more than he's gonna strike out.
One of the toughest guys in the National League to strike out. Has been really since the day he came to the big leagues. Runner at third. That's a ball. His hit in the second with 2 outs. That's a big one. You get a 2-out, 2-run single. Took it from a 1-0 game to a 3-0 game.
I wonder if he'll wear the same uniform in the next game.
You think so?
I think he should. It's good. It's nice and clean.
Well, he's one of the guys you would figure is likely to play both games. I mean, somebody has to. A few players have to play both. You don't have enough roster to turn everybody over. And I would guess that Panik's going to be one of those who plays both. 3-1.
You got Scherzer pitching, so you got a righty. Yeah, I think he should wear the same uniform. I think it'd be awesome. He'd show me something if he wore the same uniform.
Just go back in the clubhouse, because we're probably going to have, depends how this game goes. There's Scherzer. He has 2 different color eyes. Did you know that?
Yeah, I do. It's kind of creepy. And I had a pitching coach one time that had 2 different color eyes. He'd look at you, and you didn't know if you're really supposed to stare into his eyes.
Yeah, which one am I looking at exactly?
Yeah.
Both or what?
Or if you start bouncing back between eyes, he knows. He's like, why are you looking at my eyes like that? You know, he just makes it awkward. So you kind of look right at his forehead. You know?
Max. He got a dog with each eye.
He did.
He did. Three and 2 to Panik. He lines that one to left field, but hanging for Lind, who catches it. Might be his hardest hit ball of the day, but it's an out. Giants strand a runner. They lead 3-0.
Bay Area is brought to you by 21st Amendment. Join our August Fest party on August 26th from 12 to 6. Visit 21stamendment.com for details. By Da Vinci Marble. Hit a home run on your next remodel with slabs, tiles, and more from the Bay Area's premier showroom. Da Vinci Marble. By Max Muscle Sports Nutrition Petaluma. NPC athlete Lori Mathis is there to help you get in shape this summer. And by PenFed Credit Union. Do better with your money at PenFed. It's easy to apply and no military service required. Apply today at penfed.org.
It's hard to have a much nicer summertime day than this one here in Washington, D.C. It is 3-0 Giants over the Nats. Dave Fleming, Jeremy Affel, bottom of the fourth, and we are just getting started. And if you don't know why we're saying that, bottom of the fourth inning, huh? Really? Well, this is game 1 of 2. Get another one tonight. A doubleheader because of the rain out on Friday. Chris Stratton, ball 1 to the cleanup hitter Ryan Zimmerman. Leading off for the Nats here in the fourth inning. 2-0. Well, Jeremy mentioned it during the top of the fourth, how well Chris Stratton is throwing the ball.
Yeah, he's been moving the ball around pretty good, especially with that fastball. He's doing a good job with that one. That little late sinker that he kind of starts in the zone where guys have to commit. And by the time they do it, he'd run about 6 inches off the plate and ties up his hands. You can see right there, it just gets right under his hands right there. He did the same thing to Sanchez, and he's done a really good job of keeping balls out of the middle of the plate. And when he does throw it over the heart of the plate, it's more down, which keeps the ball in the ballpark.
I mean, that was a 2-0 swing from an MVP candidate. that previous pitch, that was nasty.
It just shows you the late movement that he's getting. And that's what hitters show you. When you can throw a fastball and they get those kind of swings, it just shows you that it's the movement is so late when they commit. They can't change their bat angle, and the way he's throwing his curveball today. I mean, just he's really he looks like a mature pitcher on the mound.
2-2. Still 2-2. Well, every start, every inning he pitches now through the end of the year is very important. The Giants are, it's not like they're hiding it. This is evaluation time for a former first-round pick. Trying to make some decisions about next year, roles. Is there a spot for this guy? He struck out Zimmerman with a nasty curveball.
And that's a ball that wasn't really even on the plate. It just hung up in his eyes long enough where he saw it and he thought it was going to be a hang and breaking ball, and it falls right off the table. I mean, that ball started away, and it just shows you again what he's been doing by tying guys up in, keeping them off balance, showing them different level, high fastballs, low fastballs, sinkers, backdoor sinkers, curveballs on the plate, curveballs off the plate. I mean, Hundley's doing a great job of calling this game, and Stratton's doing a good job of executing the pitches that Nick is asking him to execute.
A rare ball from Stratton. That was pitch number 60, 43 strikes. Adam Lind kind of muscles that one to shallow left center. Who's going to take it? Jared Parker, 2 down. He has made Lind look bad in 2 at-bats. Lind never made an out in last night's game. Much different story here this afternoon.
And that's again what a good curveball does. And it's a top to bottom curveball. It's not a curveball that guys see a whole lot anymore. That, I mean, from a right-hander, it's more of that 2 to 8 type almost slot, where now a lefty, he can almost, that fastball that rides up like that, he has to swing at it now because he could be throwing that curveball in there, and guys get those little weak pop-ups on those high fastballs.
So here's Defoe. He swings right through a fastball. Strike one. What did you call your curveball?
What did I call it? Like angle-wise, you think? I think mine was, I had more, when I had a good one working, I tried to cover the entire strike zone plane, so I had more of a 10 to 4 when I had a good one. When I had a bad one, it was like 9 to 3 in the clock, usually in the on-deck circle, or it was like 12 to below the 6. And not even
happy hour for the hitters.
Yeah.
Not often though.
No. Yeah,
but that curveball was a big weapon for you.
Huge weapon for me.
Chris Stratton just continues to pound the strike zone ahead of just about everybody, including Defoe, who tops one foul. And that's the thing about a big league season and performing at this level, where you could use the old cliche, playing out the string. Giants have 6 weeks left. They're not a contending team, but games like this, these are really important games for a lot of the guys out on the field, including this guy who is passing the test today. That is strikeout number 7 in 4 shutout innings. Stratton and the Giants lead 3-0. Ball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Later today, game 2, we were talking about it, of our doubleheader coverage begins at 3:30 Pacific time right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. Look at the numbers of Max Scherzer, 12-5, a 2.23 ERA, 210 strikeouts, 38 walks. He is the favorite to win the Cy Young Award again in the National League. A guy who, and we'll talk a lot about him tonight, but he's getting older and getting better, which that doesn't happen a lot in sports. And Max Scherzer is just dominating these days for the Nats.
It's impressive to watch. Him and Sale and him both, man, it's just amazing to watch these two guys pitch like they do on the mound. That slot that they throw from, the velocity that they throw from, and the command. I mean, Scherzer has a potential to throw a no-hitter, I swear, every time he goes out there.
He's taken one into the 5th, 6th inning a bunch of times in these last couple of years. And this is no knock. I don't want this to come across as a knock against Clayton Kershaw, who's still a dominant force. But for the first time in a few years, there's an argument of who's the best pitcher in the game, I think. And those two guys you mentioned are in the conversation. 2-2. Crawford has struck out and walked against this guy, A.J. Cole. His 4th major league start of the year. Giants with a 3-0 lead. Crawford kind of tops one defensively to short on the way. Crawford's another guy who is likely to play both games of this doubleheader. I think we'll see Jared Parker as well against Max Scherzer. 0-2 today. He struck out a couple times.
Yeah, you're going to want to be left side heavy against a guy like Scherzer. He's not a very comfortable at bat anyway, but he's definitely not a comfortable at bat for right-handers. Ball 1.
Well, it's you don't want to say, because AJ Cole's a big leaguer. He's been a prospect. He's got good stuff, but it does put a little pressure on game one when you know Scherzer's looming. If you don't want this to be a miserable day, you know you got your hands full with Scherzer in game two. So the Giants have a lead here, up 3-0. If you win game one, it's funny the psychology of sports, but it's like, okay, all right, we got to win now. We can just go out and play loose and easy in game two.
Yeah,
see what happens.
Yeah, you avoid a potential sweep, and Scherzer can be beat. He's just such, like you say, he's a handful, and a lot of times don't expect to beat him 5-0. If you're going to beat him, it's because your pitcher decided to throw a shutout, and you beat him 1-0 or 2-1, and it's just one of those things. It's not going to be something that anybody would say, well, we got the second game, so don't worry about it. No, the first game right now is the game that you want to win. And I think that Scherzer, they had a debate on whether Scherzer was going to pitch that first game or not. And I think if Dusty would have been in a situation yesterday where he would have lost the game, Scherzer probably starts the first game just because he's trying to avoid, you know, going down 2-0 to the Giants in the series.
So 2 down and nobody on for Pablo Sandoval. Scherzer against the Giants earlier this year, back on May 31st. 9 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 11 strikeouts, complete game, 100 pitches.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. Pablo went after that high fastball. 0-1. Has been kind of funny talking to casual baseball fans. We see some Panda hats. Not like Giants fans are not clued in, but the last week or so, you mentioned Pablo's name. Hits that one foul, out of play. And you kind of get the reaction, yeah, what's going on with Pablo? Where is he these days? Well, he's back with the Giants. He's back. He's in the lineup today. For the Giants today?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of happened fast.
It happened fast. Happened fast, but he's come up and he's hitting 300. I mean, he's showing some life, which is what the team needed, but it's also good to see that he has come here to show life.
He's definitely motivated to prove that he's still got something left. 0 for 3 today, though. The Giants go down in order. Middle of the 5th, 3-0 Giants. Is brought to you by your California Ford dealers. We go back to June of 2009, a doubleheader here in Washington. Sound familiar? This one with some history on the line. Randy Johnson pitched game 1 with 299 wins on a play that he made. Brian Wilson worked through some trouble to get the save, and he became the 24th pitcher, Randy Johnson did, in big league history to win 300 games, just the 6th lefty, and he did it in a Giants uniform. Our Ford smart play.
That was awesome.
It was. He had his kid here as the bat boy that day. I loved having Randy Johnson around.
Yeah, I watched him a lot in Seattle, and I didn't know when he came over to the Giants what kind of teammate he would be or wouldn't be. But I tell you, man, it was what a. And we were all new that time. I was new to the Giants. A lot of guys never knew, but what a fun guy to have around.
I thought so. Andrew Stevenson starts the bottom of the 5th with a ground ball single. A base runner for the Nats against Chris Stratton. But yeah, Randy certainly had the reputation, and part of that was maybe some clashes with Curt Schilling. You know, he's such a competitive guy, such an intense guy. Is he going to be a fun guy to be around? He was. I mean, and maybe part of that was reflecting on the end of his career, but he shared info. He talked pitching. He talked baseball. If you wanted to chat, he was there.
Yeah, he was definitely
a fun guy to have around. Lobatone to Jared Parker. He might have had to battle some glare there, making that catch, one away.
And it was just fun. He's one of those, for me, just childhood heroes. Just watching pitch. I remember going to Seattle to watch him in the Kingdome, and then I got to not only be his teammate, I got to pitch in the game that sealed up that 300th win, you know, and just say we were part of history, and you were on the mound helping seal that win up, and then knowing you watched that game unfold. I mean, everything was just awesome about that game. I'm very thankful to be a part of that.
Cole, the pitcher, shows bunt and takes a strike. The 300th win on this field. Giants Nats back in 2009. Showing bunt again, and he bunts at it foul. 0-2. Maybe this is why he's 0 for 15 in his major league career. Because in hitting, he looked good.
Yeah,
he had a good little swing.
I think he likes to bunt, really.
I don't think so either. Well, he's showing bunt early here. He doesn't like to bunt.
Yeah.
I'm just going out on a limb and saying it. I'm speaking for AJ.
As an Xfinity X1 customer, all you have to say is show me the San Francisco Giants into your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1.
Yep, nailed that one.
Yeah, sold that one. I'm sure the lines at Xfinity are going to be out the door. I really felt good about that one, Dave.
Yeah, you know, this guy Apfel told me you could just say anything into this remote, and all kinds of stuff came up. It is true. I use the little microphone button on that thing all the time.
Yeah, they got all the technology now.
What did we do without it?
Yeah.
Goodwin takes low from Stratton. Goodwin's got a hit in 2 at-bats.
I'm pretty sure the next advancement is the speaker's just going to be like on your TV, and you're just going to be like power on TV.
Yeah, I think we're kind of there already.
Go to the Giants game, just puts it in. You don't even need a remote. Yeah, technology.
It'd be good. You can't lose it in the cushions anymore.
That's right.
How much time have we all wasted in our lives looking for the remote?
Potential bribes for your children. First person to find it gets $5. You know, kids are going to start losing money if they come up with that technology. Problem is, I got an older son that he tries to negotiate. It's $5. $7, Dad. What? No, $7. $5.50. $6.75. Like, we're not negotiating the finding of the remote, son. Just find the remote.
And who wins?
I mean, I usually get him down to about $5.70. You know?
Jeremy Apfel playing hardball with his kids.
I'm gonna be a GM in my own house. Just get stuff done. Go clean your room. How much? What?
Walker, you don't want to take this to arbitration.
Oh, man. I'll just let you go. Okay, find another family. Okay. Okay, I'll let another team sign you.
And sometimes you got to be cold-hearted.
Just kidding, son. Just kidding. I love you.
3-1 is lined and caught it short by Crawford. That was a nice play. Only the second 3-ball count of the game for Chris Stratton. So what? 5 shutout for Stratton.
Is presented by the authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
Back in Washington, D.C. First game of a doubleheader day at Nationals Park. 3-0 Giants into the 6th. Well, lots of Giants fans are here in the nation's capital. Nick Hundley at the plate to lead off here in the 6th inning against A.J. Cole. First pitch, pop up, but foul and out of play. There is a lot of crossover, I think, these days between this city and San Francisco. Some Giants fans who, whether it's because of tech or government or whatever, who come here.
It's a fun spot for fans to come watch a game. You got a lot of tourist stuff. You got a lot of history you can see. There's a lot of things you can do before the game, usually. It's not 3 games in one day. But
yeah. A lot of plans probably were ruined with the weather the last couple days. But you're right, it's not. It's probably a mix here in D.C. of San Francisco transplants who now live here, and then fans who just want to take a road trip. This is a good city for it.
That's a potential disaster.
On top of the head?
Yeah, the ice cream being eaten on top of your head.
Zimmerman into the bag himself. 1 away.
I was kind of hoping for some spillage just to see it. Come on. It's going to happen. It's got to happen. Yep. Oh, that's a good one to drop. Oh, there it is. It's coming over. Oh. Good catch, young lady. Good catch.
Just give it another minute where it's a little more melty, a little drippier. Here's Ryder Jones taking a strike. Dad is just totally trusting and oblivious.
No idea.
Ryder's got a double. Started the rally in the second. All 3 runs in this game scored in the top of the second inning. Double, walk, single, bunt, single. Jones hits that one pretty well to right field. Goodwin back on the warning track for the catch. 2 down. That's the part of this park where you can get a push. There is a little jet stream that blows out to right center field.
Yeah, a lot of balls that have been hit out there you wouldn't think go out, and they end up leaving the ballpark. That one I thought might have had a better chance than that even, but it seemed like Goodwin had a beam on it the entire time.
It's almost like the wind comes in through the big opening out beyond center and left and kind of swirls around and slingshots back out to right center field.
Yep. I think it's exactly what it does.
There's Carlos Moncrief. 2 down, nobody on. Carlos has a walk and a run scored. He hits that one past the dive of Rendon. A 2-out base hit. A low liner. It's almost like Texas. The ballpark in Texas was always funny, where you would look up beyond right field and the flags would say the wind was blowing in from right, and yet it would come in and kind of whip around, and everything to right field got a push out.
Yeah, some of these fields that have these openings, like almost like Cincinnati has it kind of coming across the third base line, where they have a little opening, creates that that tunnel where it just gets great push, and then balls just shoot out to right field in Cincinnati. Yeah, there's been so many times where you've actually seen hitters snap their bat thinking they didn't hit it real well, and it goes out of the ballpark.
Look at that little placard. That's a long way, isn't it?
That is a long way. 465. No offense, Morris, but the wind must have been hurricaned out there.
I mean, that's
a long way.
That's not left field. That's left center and almost straightaway center field. I'm going to tell him you said that, by the way, in case he's not watching, because we're going to see him tomorrow, aren't we?
Oh, by the way,
I think Michael's going to come to the ballpark and check in with the Giants medical staff, but also check in with his teammates. Gorkys Hernandez to right field. Goodwin got a good jump, but can't get it. One hop and it goes over the wall, which is a bad break for the Giants, because that thing was likely going to score a run, and now Moncrief has to stop at third. Another good at bat for Gorkys Hernandez, but an RBI taken off the board for him because the ball bounced.
We used to say there's only one advantage for a pitcher on balls in play, and that is probably the one that you get right there, where like if that ball hits top of the fence, that's a guaranteed run scorer, and everybody has to stop on a double. That saved him. Hopefully only saved him for one hitter. Stratton coming up. No offense to Stratton, but that is a thing where Bochy's there like, oh, are you kidding me? I mean, that was our run right there. I know we got Stratton, and maybe he'll bloop one or blast one, but the advantage was definitely swung the other way this inning for the Nationals now.
And you would imagine that this visit is for a guy who's still a young pitcher, A.J. Cole. I mean, there is a fine line with the pitcher coming up. You can't pitch around Stratton. You got to be aggressive, but with 2 in scoring position, you also have to treat Chris Stratton like he's a threat with the bat in his hand, which he is. It would be a spot where Stratton could really help his own cause with a base hit. He is 0 for 1 in this game. Takes a strike. He has never had a major league hit. This would be a good time for one, wouldn't it?
It would be. Some stakes out there.
One and one. I think he at the plate, I mean, we've hardly seen him. It's not like he's had a lot of at bats, but he looks hitterish up there. The way he takes a pitch.
Yep, he does. Even that one right there, a lot of guys would probably swing at that. It looked like he was holding the strike zone long enough. And he does seem like he has a comfortable approach up there.
Kind of a backup slider, and he took that for ball 2.
And as a pitcher, you also got to remember you gotta make this guy work a little bit too. In the back of his head, I got a potential, quality start in the books here. There's a lefty warming up. I know this is my last hitter. And they'll get a little tight, and they'll start trying to almost like hope you get out rather than pitch to an out. But now he's in a situation where he's going to have to swing at that pitch on the outside corner. I don't think they're going to go anywhere else but right there.
2-2. And it probably is his last hitter. Solis up in the bullpen, the lefty with Panic on deck. 2 on, 2 out. 3-0 Giants here in the 6th. Nationals fans know it's a big moment. Teddy Roosevelt knows. Did he take? I guess he did. Wow.
Man, I was actually sipping on some water right there, and I think I almost choked on it, but I was kind of excited that he didn't call that a strike. He even left it out there and held it out for the umpire to get an extra look.
He did. You're supposed to pull the bat back.
Do something. Drop it.
Now this is a very big pitch in this game. 3-2. Cole. Stratton on the ground to shortstop. Defoe's got it, and he throws him out. Well, he had a pretty good battle there, but the Giants with some bad luck. Strand 2. Middle of the 6th, still 3-0. We get to celebrate Polynesian Heritage Night at the ballpark. Visit sfgiants.com/special events to receive your special event ticket. You'll get Giants Polynesian floral socks and a ticket to watch the Giants take on the Phillies. I see. Now I think those socks are going to be in high demand. I think our fans are going to dig those. 3-0 Giants here in the bottom of the 6th. Chris Stratton, who was at the plate when the top of the 6th ended, has had the strikeout stuff going today, hadn't he?
He has. He's got that good top to bottom curveball right there that he can throw on both sides of the plate. He's getting a lot of swings and misses on those. I mean, he's getting, and then he starts throwing that sinker inside, tying guys up like that. I mean, he has basically been a 2-pitch pitcher tonight. He's showing you that if you can throw that curveball with effective top to bottom command and that sinker with the run that he has, you can pitch a pretty good ball game. It's messing these guys up a little bit. This is the 3rd time through the order, so this will probably be the biggest test of the night. Does he make an adjustment? Does he keep throwing the way he's been throwing, or does he have to add the slider and maybe the changeup in? Now that guys are going to start having a little different game plan against him this time around.
Yeah, we'll see. 8 strikeouts, no walks. Pretty impressive. Sanchez takes the first pitch. Slider for a ball. And you could just tell the difference. That little tighter break on that pitch. Sanchez pops it up. Who's going to take it? The shortstop. One away.
Threw that pitch similar to the area that he struck him out on, and it just ties hitters up, and they can't really lay off it. He tried to even get his hands pulled in quicker, and it kind of rode up, and it just kind of comes off the bat and pops it straight up. It's the late movement. You'll see guys that throw sinkers in there, and sometimes the guy hits it hard, and you're saying, well, why does he throw that same pitch in there and they pop it up? Well, because the movement is a lot later, and it happens a lot closer to home plate, and they almost lose sight of the ball, rather than if a guy's sinker sinks early, they can track it and make an adjustment with their bat a lot earlier.
Strike to Anthony Rendon. I mean, that's 93 miles an hour, right at the knees, right toward the corner on his 80th pitch of the game. Curveball missed in.
I'd argue that's a strike. I mean, it's going to be a tough thing to get called because of how it was caught, and he did miss location, but it's still at least around the plate where a hitter has to be like, I might have got away with that one. So he's got to be a little bit more swing happy here. And Hundley smart enough to take advantage of that. And there it is. He read it through it and swung at that time.
It's good pitching by Chris Stratton. There's some controversy at the end of the Cubs Diamondbacks game that spilled over even into today, with a pitch that was sort of like that, a little higher, that was called strike 3 to end the game, and Ben Zobrist wasn't happy. Joe Madden wasn't happy. Afterwards, they were advocating we need the electronic strike zone. We can't, you know, let umpires keep deciding games. And he blows away Anthony Rendon. Strike 3 swinging. His 9th strikeout of the day. 2 down. The irony in that game in Arizona was the electronic strike zone said it was actually a strike at the bottom of the zone.
Well, but you know, where I get kind of frustrated, and I'm not saying I'm against that kind of a strike zone, but it can be where pitchers will manipulate and throw curveballs in the dirt that will cross that beam. It can happen by how they throw it. But I mean, there's been plenty of pitches where they've been called ball, get them in a favorable count to maybe hit a homer the next pitch, that they're not saying, well, we want a, you know, mechanical strike zone or whatever. I mean, hitters are going to get upset, managers are going to get, pitchers are going to get upset and say, well, we need this and we need that now. And for me, the human error is a part of this game, and it is good for that. It can frustrate you at times as well, but it's part of competition.
Be careful what you wish for too.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I think with replay, it's been an example of everybody, and I was included in that, beating the drum for replay, and some unintended consequences perhaps of the replay system that I didn't anticipate that have not been positives.
No, it has, and they want to speed up the game. I definitely think that slowed the game up drastically. I think that it has definitely gotten into a situation where we're taking too much time. If you're wanting to speed the game up, adding replay was not necessarily good for the game.
On the ground, Pablo with some range, and he throws out Zimmerman for out number 3. More impressive pitching from Chris Stratton. John's going to come back and join Jeremy on the TV side. 3-0 Giants.
night on every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Giants Nationals, top of the 7th. A little bit of a score reversal from last night. The Giants are now up 3-0. And when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change at an auto service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. And back with me from 3 short innings, radio, John Miller.
I missed you so much over there.
You came running in just now.
And I hustled over here. Here is Joe Panik, who's had 2 hits and 2 batted in. The count is 0-1, facing the new pitcher, Sammy Solis, in for the Nationals. Out of the bullpen. Solis in his 15th game of the year, and it has not gone well for him so far. And that's a base hit for Joe Panik, his 3rd of the game.
So Panik's locked in these last couple games. On the East Coast, we've been talking about how he hits better when his family's around. He's RBI, 2 RBIs with this hit here. An RBI, he had a homer and RBI last night. Getting hits and he's getting knocks. He's looking a lot more comfortable. And it's the Joe Panik that everybody loves to see and watch play. And he's looking good at the top of the order.
That hit is the second one of the big key hits of the day for the Giants. It was a 1-0 lead with 2 down. When he got that hit, suddenly 3-0. Brandon Crawford, ball 1 from Solis. Solis was a reliable member of this bullpen last year. They brought him up from Syracuse on August the 4th. And things have not gone well before and since. His ERA 11.57 in the big leagues this year. 2-0.
Well, he's definitely a breaking ball guy, and he's a guy that kind of came in for lefties, and he was going to throw a lot of breaking balls at you. Not necessarily to strike you out, but just get you out. And it seems like that curveball last year was a little sharper. The league's made a little bit of an adjustment to him, but the curveballs you're seeing right now, the one Joe hit and 2 to Brandon, they look a little loopy and slow. They don't have that sharp bite.
In the center field, Stevenson going back. He gets there. The ball was hit hard by Brandon Crawford, but it faded out toward the deepest part of the ballpark. Panik back to first. Now Jared Parker. Parker, I'm sure, is very happy to see that A.J. Cole, the starting pitcher, is now out of the game. He struck out 3 straight times against Cole. Zimmerman on the bag at first with Joe Panik. It opens that hole a little bit for Parker, the left-handed hitter, to shoot at. If he can pull one. Parker got a base hit his first time up last night, and the Nationals have shut him down ever since. Here's the step off and snap throw to first. Who's the best you ever saw doing that?
You know, step off, snap throw. I don't know. The best pickup I've ever seen is Pettit, but I don't know. Snap throws, man, are pretty tough throws for lefties because it hurt. It actually kind of hurts, man. You got to step off and you got to snap over there, and it's just a foreign throw. But
so you didn't like to do it?
I mean, I did it, and every time I did it, I think I said, "Ow." I don't even know why I did it. I said, I'm going to try this. And then after I did it, the ache in my shoulder, I wondered why. Why didn't I just lift up, throw over? I didn't get him out anyway. You know? If you get him out, it's all worth it. But if you don't, it's not.
Well, that does not count. Timeout was signaled by the plate umpire. And then Jared Parker went ahead and swung at the ball. I don't know if he was so focused on the pitch that he didn't hear him shout timeout.
Well, who called timeout, though? Why would an umpire do it?
No, the umpire did it.
Yeah, but who is he calling timeout for?
I don't know.
If something happened.
Must have been
maybe Parker called timeout. By the time he gave it to him, he I don't know, that was awkward. I haven't seen a lot of guys yell timeout like that and then hitter swings at it.
Well, it worked out well for Parker since he just hit a ground out to second and he's not out. Panic is back to first.
Oh, Parker did call. He kind of stood up and said time right there. You'll see where he stands up and says time. See right there, he's asking for time, and then he didn't get it, so he was like, I don't know, and I'll just swing at it. If he would have got a base hit, he might have been a little upset about that.
Or launched one into the seats or something.
He hits a homer and first called timeout. Oh man, that would have made his entire night. 3 punchies and then a homer that doesn't count.
Didn't count. I saw a guy do that once. Hit a home run that didn't count. The umpire called timeout just as the pitch was on the way, and he hit it over the center field wall. John Lowenstein. That's a foul. What happened was it was in Anaheim, and somebody threw a paper airplane, and it floated right down between the pitcher and the batter. And as soon as it went between the pitcher and the batter, the umpire said, time. The pitch was already on the way, and he hit it over the center field wall.
I wonder if replay now. Can you replay that nowadays, John? Be like, hey, let's replay that and see if it really counted.
Well, it ended up being a long inning, and he got a second at bat in the inning and got a single. And he singled the first time after he lost the home run. Still got a base hit, and he said, well, it's kind of tough. I lost a home run, but I still have the all-time record for most singles in an inning with a home run that didn't count.
Yeah. Hey, silver lining. Silver lining. And I think he'd probably take the 2 hits over the homer. He got 2 knocks.
Two and two the count to Parker. Look at it. 3-2. And Parker, who's already, 3-4 pitches ago, grounded out to second. He's still up. This is all on house money right now.
Yep.
Giants ahead 3-0 in the 7th. 1 out. Panic at first. We'll keep an eye on Panic. He is not running. And a pop-up. The pitcher wants it, and he got it in foul ground. Solis. So Parker, that's the first time he's actually hit the ball, and he fouls out after striking out the first 3 times. It's a tough day.
Yeah.
And 1 ground out that didn't count.
It's probably just, it's early.
It's early. It's only the first game. He's got another whole game against he can make up for lost time against Max Scherzer. Pablo Sandoval is struck out, flied out to right, and grounded out to second. Pablo switching around to bat right-handed now. That's 0-1. Pablo has gone 0 for 2 batting right-handed since coming back to the Giants. Looking for his first hit of the game. Panic led off the inning with a single. He's still over there at first base with 2 down. And Zimmerman stays on the bag with him. And a pop up. Shallow right. Battling the fierce glare of the sun is Goodwin. And he's got it. He's holding that glove up to shade the eyes all the way. Adam Lind coming up against Stratton. 3-0 Giants.
is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. By AAA. Get a free Giants welcome mat. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/Giants or to a AAA branch for details. By Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Nationals Park in Washington as we head to the last half of the 7th inning. The Giants are leading 3-0 here in Game 1 of a day-night doubleheader. I'm John Miller with Jeremy Affeldt and Dave Fleming. Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow are on assignment. The racing presidents are here. George Washington won the race today. And the fans, after a singing of God Bless America, then a rousing rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And a rousing performance by the Giants rookie starter, Chris Stratton, a former first-round draft choice. And he has been exceptionally good so far. 6 shutout innings. He has 9 strikeouts and not a single walk allowed. He has given up 4 hits, all singles to the Nationals, and nothing else. And it will be Adam Lind, Wilmer Defoe, and Andrew Stevenson. All 3 of them will bat left-handed coming up in the 7th inning. And he's never been a huge strikeout guy, even in the minor leagues. Not often had double-digit strikeout performances, even as a minor leaguer.
Yeah, I think he's got 3. From looking at his stuff, he's got 3 of those.
He's had a lot of different things working well for him today, though.
Well, it's that curveball he's throwing. I mean, you throw a curveball the way he's throwing it, and then the movement on the fastball that he has today, those double-digit strikeout numbers will start to go up a little bit.
There's a curveball in the dirt. 2-0. Lind has struck out, and he's flied out to shallow left center. The Giants have the overload on the right side of the infield. 3 infielders to that side. Only Pablo remains on the left side, and he's well away from third base. And he got the high strike with a fastball. 2-1. That was pitch number 90 thrown by Stratton today. Did he swing? Yes. On appeal, Chris Guccione, third base umpire, said that was a swing. That was well up out of the strike zone, and Lynn thought, oh no, I should not. Oh, too late. 2-2 the count. Pablo moves over to short now. A little bit low. Adam Lind hitting .313. He had 3 hits and a walk in last night's game. Last night and this morning. 3-2 pitch. Foul back to the screen. He's staying after him with the hard stuff here.
Yeah, he seems to be chasing that ball up, that hard one up. He chased it last at bat, kind of jammed himself for. He was struck out, but he also jammed himself for a little pop-up on a high fastball in. But it's going to set up that curveball. 3-2. Will he throw it? I don't know. He's throwing a couple 3-2 sliders today, but.
Another fastball, 92. Just got a piece of it off the glove of Nick Huntley. Much less humidity than you expect this time of year here in Washington. I think it was 48% humidity. 80 degrees at game time. And a nice crowd, not a sellout. It's in the deep center. Gorky Hernandez still going back now. Veering over and makes the catch. Well, it helps if you give up hard contact, make him hit it to the big part of the yard. 1 away.
Challenge fastball right there on the, really right down the middle, and he said, go ahead and hit it. He did. He just kind of almost looked like he kind of put a little side spin on the ball. Didn't get quite enough backspin that he wanted. Held up enough for being out.
And is this the time of the game where You got a 3-0 lead. You can afford to do that. Nobody on.
Nobody on, you definitely do, because you don't want to allow rallies to get started. So you're gonna challenge him to see if the 8 guys behind you try to make the out rather than put the guy on a free pass.
Defoe takes ball 1. Defoe singled in the 2nd. Struck out in the 4th. 9 strikeouts for Stratton in the game. Defoe, fast runner, and he lifts a foul out of play as the sun has disappeared behind a cloud again. At least for the moment. Now there's the fan who got that baseball. Will explain to the ballpark attendant that they are just fine. There's a called strike 2, and it's 1-2. Nationals have another left-hander warming up in their bullpen. It's Matt Grace up out there now. 1-2 to Defoe. 1 out, nobody on the Washington 7th. Timeout taken. Giants for the first time get some action going in their bullpen.
It's where
Corey Guerin.
Hundley asked for that ball in the dirt because he's wanting to chase after that good curveball, that slider in the dirt. A lot of times they look at that with 10 strikeouts.
For the first double-figure strikeout game as a big leaguer for Chris Stratton. And that pitch, that's almost unhittable. 87 miles an hour, that kind of drop.
That was as good as a slider as you can make, especially after that curveball away and he throws that slider that just disappears. I mean, the pitches that he's executing today this is as good as anybody I've seen on the Giants throw all year.
So here is Stevenson. 2 down, nobody on. Down and away, ball 1. So Guerin will be ready in the bullpen if needed, but Stratton continues to take care of things on the mound. 2 down, nobody on in the 7th. Up the middle, base hit. And Stevenson has 2 of the Nationals' 5 hits. He'd only had 2 hits this year. 2 for 18 in the big leagues.
It wasn't a hard hit ball. It wasn't a hard hit ball, just up the middle a little bit, a little grounder. If those are the hits that you're giving up in the 7th, you'll probably see Bochy give him he's not going to give him too much because you don't want to rally, but that's not going to be something where, you know, as Bochy watched the game, it's not a hit that concerns him a whole lot. I don't know if they'll give him many more just because you don't want the tie and run coming to the plate.
And he is now at 101 pitches, which I'm assuming in the minor leagues, usually that was about the limit for him. Josh Osich, a left-hander, gets up in the Giants bullpen now to join the right-hander Corey Guerin out there. There's Osich on the right behind the 377 sign. Guerin, number 62.
I would go out on a limb to say Murphy's on the on-deck circle. If he gets to the plate, I would say this would be his last hitter today.
And the idea of Murphy is what got Osich up in the bullpen. And looking down to the on-deck circle, you're absolutely right. It is Daniel Murphy having another big year for the Nats. This becomes a big out to get now. If Murphy gets up in this inning, he'll be the possible tying run of the game. And he hangs that curveball up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lobaton has struck out and lined out to left. He had one of the harder hit balls for the Nats in this game. Two down, runner at first. 3-0 Giants. That is fouled down the right field line. He got right in on the hands. 1-2 to Lobaton. Three runs, 7 hits for the Giants. No runs, 5 hits for the Nationals. Chris Stratton, in his 3rd major league start, by far the best one. And it's the kind of a start that makes you recall he was a first-round draft choice for the Giants a few years back. That is pulled foul. 1-2. So a major day for Chris Stratton in his young career. He'll turn 27 a week from Tuesday out of Mississippi State, Will Clark's alma mater. The 20th overall selection in the 2012 first-year player draft. 6th year in the Giants organization. He got his first call up to the big leagues late last year. And a good sign, even though it was in relief, he got his first major league win against the Dodgers.
Always a good sign.
And the high hard one taken by Lobaton.
It's a good pitch to lay off right there. You tip your hat to Lobaton after those curveballs he was seeing, having that fastball come over the plate like that for him to hold off.
So good work. Although I'm thinking he's a catcher. He's saying, you know what he's going to do here? He's going to throw me that fastball up out of the zone. That's what I'd call it. Now it's gone full, 3-2. So laid off a couple of times here after falling behind in the count. Ryder Jones vacates the bag at first. He'll play behind Stevenson, who will take off with the pitch. 3-2 with 2 down. There goes Stevenson. And a high foul that will go back out of play. Still 3-2. Stratton at 108 pitches for the game. Leadoff man Brian Goodwin in the hole with Daniel Murphy, the veteran, one of the best hitters in the league, out on deck to bat for the pitcher. The runner goes off the inside and he walks it, and that may have been his final pitch. So Murphy is now officially entered into the game as the pinch hitter. Nick Cudley goes out to the mound, and Bruce Bochy's going to come out as well.
I think Stratton would have liked to finish that inning to seal off that 7 innings, but regardless, I mean, really well pitched game by Chris Stratton today. I guarantee that there's something that they'll talk about after the game, and the coaches. It was definitely a good effort. He executed exactly how they needed to execute.
The only man he walked was the last man he faced. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts. And the Giants with a 3-0 lead. They have held that lead since the 2nd inning. And Chris Stratton with a shutout going, but with 2 down and nobody on here in the 7th. Stevenson hit a single, and then Lobaton drew a walk. And Daniel Murphy was entered in as a pinch hitter, one of the top hitters in the National League. And so Stratton's day has come to an end. Josh Osich comes in to try and end this threat for the Nationals. As Murphy gets ready to stand in. Murphy hitting .329, 19 homers, 35 doubles, a .383 on base average. He is the possible tying run. Ball one.
Giants have one left-handed reliever down in the bullpen as of right now. This is exactly why you have a guy like Osich down there to face a guy like this. Throw some high velocity with some good curveballs at a guy.
High in the air and plenty of room in left field. Coming into fairly shallow left. Parker. The inning is over. 3-0 Giants. Nick Hundley coming up in the 8th. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. The Giants heading into the 8th with a 3-0 lead. 3 runs, 7 hits to no runs and 5 hits. Chris Stratton, a breakthrough game for the right-hander up out of the minor leagues. 6 2/3 innings. No runs, 5 hits, 10 strikeouts, and just the 1 walk. Joe Paddock handling things with the bat. 3 for 4 with 2 of the 3 runs knocked in. A.J. Cole started, the Nationals rookie. Not bad. 3 runs, 6 hits in 6 innings with 6 strikeouts. Andrew Stevenson, a couple of hits for the Nats against Stratton. New pitcher for the Nationals has come into the game now. It is Matt Grace, a left-hander, when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. And the Giants will come up against him with Nick Hundley, then Ryder Jones and Carlos Moncrief as the do-ups. The sun has completely disappeared from the ballpark here at the moment. Suddenly it's gray, somber looking. Giants ahead 3-0, 8th inning. Strike 1 to Hundley. The Giants wouldn't mind if maybe they scored another run or 2 here.
Yeah, insurance runs are always good coming into the 8th and 9th. They had one taken away from them a couple innings ago, and that ball bounced over the fence. I thought that was going to be an insurance run.
They got robbed.
Yeah, Hernandez hit that ball.
And there's going to be a lot of commotion come the last half of this 8th inning when that man comes into the game, Hunter Strickland.
There might be a few boos.
You think?
Some cheers.
Well, there are some Giants fans here. And Stratton got a pretty good ovation when he left. 0-2 the count. That's hit well down the right field line. Headed for the corner, off the warning track and up against the wall. Goodwin's got a pretty good arm. The throw in. Not in time. Wow. And Defoe, the shortstop, immediately signaled to the dugout, you better take a look at the replay on that one. I think I got him.
That was a really good arm. I think Hundley knew it never stopped. It looks like he. No, he's safe. But I'll give it to Goodwin. I mean, that throw was some velocity behind that throw, and it was on the money. Hundley needed all his speed. And he's got decent speed for a catcher, I think, but you definitely needed it for that. He's hitting.
Even for him as a guy who runs pretty well for a catcher, it's mid-August.
Yeah, legs are getting a little heavy.
Here is Ryder Jones, a leadoff double for Hundley. And it wasn't just a great throw. And he wasn't trying to show off the strong arm either. That was a good low throw. It got there in a hurry. One quick hop right there. That's the way it's done.
Textbook throw to second. I think that's why Defoe wanted to have it replayed, because he knew it came in pretty good and the tag was pretty bang bang, and he just wanted to make sure his foot was on the bag probably before he got the tag down. But
really well done by Defoe.
Yeah.
Ryder Jones, and Ryder, as he hits that foul off his foot, ouch, to make it 1-1, and he broke his bat. He's got to get a new piece of lumber, but he needs to, at the very least, get that runner over to third base here. Giants have a chance. They could get a run here without even getting another hit. They need the situational hitting.
That might have got in on his hands a little bit.
So his hands may hurt more than his the leg or the foot or wherever it hit.
I don't think he can tape that bat up and swing with it anymore. I think he's going to have to get a new one.
Well, that will move him up.
I think it'll be safe.
It is out.
Oh, man, I've been checking that one because that's pretty good.
Brian Adderton, the minor league umpire, added to the crew for this first game, or for this doubleheader, made the call, and they're going to check with Sean Dunston and Chad Chop, and we're going to check it ourselves here.
I think he's right. Man, I don't know. I think they're going to. It's the seventh inning. You can check, right? According to the rules. Oh no, he was
safe.
He's safe
I
right
think
there.
He's safe. This is going to be overturned. IMHO. This replay review is presented by Xfinity. The crew chief, Jerry Meals, and the man who made the call get on the headphones with the umpire or umpires up in New York at the command central. So watch when his foot hits right there. Where's the ball? Yeah, the ball's got to beat him to the bag.
I feel like he's safe right there. That there I couldn't tell. The other side I could. I feel like he's safe.
I think he's safe. I agree with you. The umpires in New York have to have absolute proof that the call was wrong to change it.
Well, there's a lot of sunlight out here. So the night game, I think night games, they have a hard time on in New York. Plenty of sun out here, John. They can see it. And he's safe right there. He's safe. He's on the bag.
And sometimes, I mean, it's not easy to.
Yep. And they've also informed the first base umpire he will be going back to AAA after that call.
Can't you? What are you, blind?
Yeah.
Can't you see anything? Mike Maddox is going to go to the mound now. The Giants have runners at first and third with nobody out, and Carlos Moncrief coming up. And he's going to be, in fact, he's not coming up. Giants are going to use their ace pinch hitter, Kelby Tomlinson, right here to bat for Moncrief.
You can now stream the Giants on the go on NBCSportsBayArea.com and the NBC Sports app presented by Honda.
Well, the Giants have runners at first and third. Ryder Jones showing off some speed to beat out that ground ball. He'd already gotten the first priority done, which was to get Hundley over to third, and then he got even more. He beat the play out. So he's at first, Hundley at third. The Nationals bring the middle infielders in halfway. Tomlinson called strike. Kelby, 12 hits in 35 at bats as a pinch hitter.
I'd say that's pretty good.
He has been the Giants' best in this role. Trying to get that runner home from third. Now he shows bunt. Not a suicide. And Zimmerman from third and Rendon from first, and Rendon from third came rushing in toward the plate when they saw him display the bunt.
Thompson has such good back control. He can go with pitches. He can drop bunts when he wants to. He can take that pitch away and flick it over to the right. He hits it up the middle. He just has a really good ability to hit it where it's pitched.
Good tough slider down and in, fouled. Now it's 1-2. This is a spot where Grace, and you were in a spot like this many times. I mean, he wants to strike out, right?
You want to strike out here because you're trying to. You don't want an insurance run. You are pitching for double plays all the time as well. But this here for me, I'm thinking I need to strike this guy out if I can, and then get the double play.
He hit it off his foot. It went out into fair ground, but as soon as it hit his foot, a foul ball. 1-2. Ryder Jones raced over to second. He'll have to go back to first. Hundley still at third. Grace keeping the ball down, trying to make him hit it on the ground if he hits it at all. In the dirt, blocked by Lobaton. 2-2. Grace with a 4.45 ERA this year, 32 1/3 innings, 31 hits before today. Not a strikeout guy, only 21 strikeouts in 32 1/3. 14 walks. That is low. 3-2.
Tomlinson, with having that kind of back control, he knows when. He also has a lot of strike zone coverage too. He understands what a ball is, what a strike is. He's not going to chase it outside the zone, and he can foul balls off. He can get hits, or he can take walks.
There's a ball into center, tagging up Hundley, back into medium deep center field. Stevenson with the catch, and Tomlinson has gotten it done. Hundley crosses the plate. 4-0 Giants.
Great piece of hitting. Good situational hitting. Insurance run.
And the first order of business was Ryder Jones being able to get Hundley over to third base. And then the fly ball by Tomlinson cashed him in.
Ball was deep enough into the outfield. Got enough speed at third base. I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for when you want to get him over, get it in. You didn't even have to give up an out to do it. You don't have 2 outs. You have 1 out.
Called a strike to Gorkis Hernandez, who's had a single, a walk, and a double in this game. He was the one who hit the double that should have knocked in a run, but it bounced over the wall in right field. An automatic double, and the runner at first, Moncrief, had to hold at third. And it's 0-2 now to Gorkis.
This game has got to be an encouraging game for the front office of the Giants. I mean, a lot of their young guys are getting the job done against a pretty good team, and they're the ones causing the commotion out there on the base paths. They're getting guys in when they should be, and it's got to be an exciting time to see that their young guys are starting to play like big leaguers a little bit.
1-2 to Gorkis. Hunter Pence is out on deck for the Giants, with the pitcher due up next. Hunter Strickland warming up in the Giants bullpen. There's Pence, hoping to come up in this inning. The Nationals have a right-hander who started throwing in their bullpen, Matt Albers. There goes Jones from first. Lobaton's throw on a bounce and dropped. Sanchez had him, I think, for the out, and he dropped the ball. And Ryder Jones may have kicked it out of his glove.
Here's the throw down to second. I think he did. I think when he went to put the slap on, it's almost like he hit him in the kneecap almost, and it kind of pushed the ball out of the glove because the ball definitely beat him to the bag. See this? Right when he slapped down, it kind of knee hit the ball out of the glove there, and this.
So Ryder
Bochy trying to get guys in scoring position.
Ryder Jones breaks for third. The ball hit in front of him, and it worked. He got himself to third as Defoe throws out Hernandez at first. Ryder Jones feels invulnerable after stealing that bag, his first big league steal. And then he took off and a ground ball hit in front of him.
No one can get me out on the bases.
Well, that kind of, Davey Lopes, the great base stealer, and he said you have to, a good base stealer's got to have some certain amount of arrogance. They can't get me. He's got to have that confidence.
He definitely taught that when he was with the Phillies over there. Those guys stole bases all over the place. He had some guys with some speed. LA a little bit.
Hunter Pence now pinch hitting for Osich. And a pretty good rip at that first one. A fastball at 92. Fouled it straight back. Yeah, he worked with both Jimmy Rollins and then later Shane Victorino. And those guys, they could run circles around you.
Yeah, Chase Utley.
That was hit well. But Stevenson is there. And the inning is over. The Giants add a run after Huntley's leadoff double. Tomlinson got him home later on. 4-0 Giants. Top of the order coming up. And Hunter Strickland will come in for the last of the 8th. On to pitch for the Giants now. And he was just introduced by the PA announcer. And this is the reception for Hunter Strickland, although he was already given a long, loud boo by the crowd as he made his way in for the bullpen well before that announcement.
And it sounds like they love him here. Surprising.
He made his debut in this ballpark during the 2014 Division Series, and he got touched up a couple of times by Bryce Harper in that series. And apparently something about what Bryce did simmered with him for 3 years, and he drilled Harper the next time he faced him which was earlier this year at AT&T Park. And there is ball 1 to Goodwin leading it off. Of course, Bryce Harper was placed on the disabled list after last night's game. And a strike. Goodwin has popped up the second, single, and hit a soft liner to short that was caught by Brandon Crawford after a long run to get to it. Crawford fought to his right, and he can't handle it, and then kicked it. And Goodwin, for his part, he was just running right through the bag at first. No thought of trying to move up. But this was the last time that Strickland faced the Nationals. May the 29th at AT&T Park. And then fisticuffs. Somewhere in the middle of all of that came Jeff Samardzija, and also
it's good helmet toss.
That was the collision between Samardzija and Michael Morris that caused a concussion for Morris. And several of his teammates had to carry off the enraged Hunter Strickland as Adrian Sanchez will strike 1. Infield hit for Goodwin. I don't know that Crawford was going to be able to throw him out. Goodwin runs pretty well.
Well, that shift was so overshifted that he couldn't adjust to that ground ball, and even if he got to it, you're not going to be able to get him out. Almost like he almost had a double, though. He almost booted it over the third base line trying to get to it. Crawford got to it quick enough, but sometimes when you shift like that and you get overshifted, it really takes away your ability to recover, even on weak ground balls, to be able to get all the way back to a ball and throw a guy out. It makes it really hard. That's why I love shifts so much, John.
You sound like a big believer.
Super excited about him.
Well, one thing, you got infielders who not only have ability but are students of the game, like Crawford and Joe Panic. You wonder about the real need for the big overshifting. These are guys who study the spread chart and the spray charts and whatnot. They know where guys are liable to hit certain pitches, and could well be able to make their own adjustments from pitch to pitch, even instead of just an overall, one shift fits all kind of a move, which is really what the shifts are all about.
Yeah.
Takes it out of the hands of the players themselves. And Sanchez is down on strikes. Third time he has struck out. He is 0 for 4 in the game. 1 away.
Sometimes my argument is, here's a hard fastball away. He challenged him the entire at bat. Pretty much just stayed 95, 96 on the outside corner. Just using that velocity, and he's got pretty decent command going this whole year, so he's just using that to blow guys away. Kind of similar to what Doolittle did last night. Just threw a lot of fastballs, kept it away from guys.
The Giants made a couple of shifts in the outfield, by the way, when they brought Strickland in. Tomlinson, who pinch hit for Moncrief, stays in to play left, and Parker moved to right field. Goodwin going. Hundley's throw, a good one, but too late. And he got a huge jump against Strickland. He really did not do anything in terms of preventing Goodwin from taking off there. So now a runner at second with 1 out. Rendon, you got the home run and RBI man up. Rendon at the plate, Zimmerman on deck. There's Parker in right with Tomlinson now in left for the Giants. Gorkis Hernandez still in center. Giants ahead 4-0, last of the 8th. But the big hitters are up right now for the Nats. Here in the first game of the day-night doubleheader. Game 2, 4 o'clock, 3:30 TV time with pregame live here on NBC Sports Bay Area. And that is fouled, and the count is a ball and a strike. When Strickland pitched here in the division series, he was still a baby. Giants had no intention for him to be on that postseason roster, but he pitched so well And he threw so hard that he had to, that kind of a thing that seems to play well in the postseason, especially. So, well, let's keep him on.
And you had a save here in Washington. I think it was the 18th inning game. 18th
inning game. And he got a big out in a tight spot in the middle innings of game 1 of that series. Although,
that's right, bases loaded, right?
That's right. The next inning, Bryce Harper hit a home run against him. 2-1 the count to the dangerous Rendon. And a foul to the backstop. 2-2.
Not to keep harping on the shift, John, but my biggest issue with shifting on fast guys like that is all the shift does is take away a single. That's all you're trying to do is take away the single. Well, if he beats the shift and he's late on a fastball like he was there, he got a single. So either way, you're trying to take away something that he'll get anyway. So to me, I don't always think. I think that adjusting to the pitch, like you said, pitch to pitch, maybe shading a guy, but keeping yourself athletic to recover if the guy's not hitting it exactly where you think he should hit it, allows, I think, for you to have more recovery to save balls from being hits. Where you overshift like that on a fast guy, you have no chance to recover.
Well, if you go back the way before the shifting became the thing, infielders, the smart infielders, they would adjust from pitch to pitch.
They shaded, they had steps, they kind of anticipated.
That ball is hit deep. Way back there and gone. They have cut the lead in half. Rendon into the bleachers against Hunter Strickland, and now it is 4-2. First runs of the day for the Nationals. 22nd home run this year for Anthony Rendon.
Here's a pitch. He throws him. He just throws that fastball right up, down the middle, and up. And it's just a pitch that, with a hitter like Rendon, he's not going to miss that ball. That's the ball he's been waiting on the entire time. And whenever Strickland gets beat at any point in time, it happens to be usually that fastball. It's coming right back to middle up, and guys can turn on that ball.
Now another power hitter, Ryan Zimmerman.
He knew it when he hit it. Got the ball he's looking for. He hit it hard.
103 miles an hour off the bat, and the StatCast saying 405 feet, the estimated distance on it. The Nationals missing Bryce Harper, who's on the disabled list now, but that's still their 170th home run this year. And Crawford behind the bag, off-balance throw, well done. Take a possible hit away from Zimmerman, who is now 0 for 4 in this game. Rendon, going back to you talking about the pitch he hit, he fouled off a couple of pitches. One of them he just barely foul tipped it, just barely made contact. Extend that at bat, and finally he got one he could handle.
Yeah, usually, I mean, those fastballs away that he was throwing him had a little late cut on it, and he couldn't quite time it up. But that ball that came back to the middle, he's already timed up the 95, and now it was just being able to hit it, swing, and hit the ball to location being pitched. Well, he sped his bat up by throwing so hard on the outside corner that when you do leave it over the middle up like that, with the kind of ball club this is in the Nationals and how good they are at hitting fastballs, it could be dangerous.
There is Marquis Hernandez over toward left center. And that's all for Lind. But the Nationals get a couple of those runs back. It's a 4-2 Giants lead. Top of the order coming up in the ninth.
Giants post-game live. Highlights, reaction, and analysis, and it's all coming up for a full hour right after the game. And those boys are full of pizza from what I heard, so they're ready to go. Talk for a full hour, John.
That makes them better, doesn't it?
Yeah, you got tons of energy.
So Matt Grace, and for the Giants, Joe Panik leads off. He's had 3 hits in this game already, and 2 runs batted in. Michael Taylor now is in the game, playing right field for Washington, and it's interesting that Goodwin may have hurt himself. I'm not exactly sure why they made that move. Otherwise, Taylor just activated from the disabled list today.
Maybe on that slide, I think.
Could be. He got the infield hit and then stole second, and then he could trot home on the home run by Rendon. Dusty Baker took him out. He must be hurting. Grace, who allowed a run in the 8th inning.
Yeah, almost like touching his groin right there, huh? Maybe he had a little. It's like on that slide right there. He kind of maybe jammed his foot, but it looked like he kind of touched his groin a little bit on that. Maybe he tweaked his groin going into that bag.
So Taylor, I mean, it must be something like that, because otherwise, why would they have taken him out?
Yeah, he's definitely not a defensive issue.
So Panik on base for the 4th time in the game. Here's Brandon Crawford taking a called strike. Crawford is 0 for 3 with a walk.
We talked about those insurance runs. I think that's what it was huge to get that insurance run. Thomason getting that extra run in right there, because now 4-2 ball game. It's still a close ball game, but it's a little different. 3-2, 4-2. You know, because those kind of things can happen late in the ball game, and anytime you can get an insurance run after the 7th inning, you want to try to take it, because it's pretty hard to slam the door on a lot of these big league teams late in the game.
Giants are getting Sam Dyson ready in the bullpen for the last half of the 9th. The biggest national sluggers, though, have already batted against Strickland in the 8th inning, and Osich, for that matter. He faced Murphy, who came up as a pinch hitter in the 7th. 4-2 Giants. 4 runs, 9 hits for the Giants. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Nats. Panik, the runner at first, and that is down the left field line, but foul. Giants got 3 runs in the 2nd inning. Marquis Hernandez knocked in 1 on an 0-2 pitch, and then with 2 down after the sacrifice bunt by Stratton, Joe Panik knocked in runs 2 and 3, and then Tomlinson was able to knock in Hundley, who led off the 8th inning with a double with a sacrifice fly for run number 4. Rendon's 2-run homer put the Nationals on the board in the last of the 8th. Crawford, Lind in and to his right, and Brandon Crawford is 0 for 4. 1 away, and Jarrett Parker will come up. Giants resting Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, and
Denard
Span in the first game. They'll all be back in there for the nightcap, which is actually a night game here in Washington, a 7:05 local time start. Parker is 0 for 4 in this game with 3 strikeouts. This has not been his favorite game so far, and he's been a hot hitter lately. The only ball that he's actually put in play, the one time he did not strike out, he fouled out, and the pitcher came over and caught the ball near the third base line. Washington also now with some action going in its bullpen. And I think that's Joe Blanton, a right-hander, warming up. for the Nationals as Dyson gets ready for the last of the ninth in the Giants pen. One out, panic at first. One and two. There's been a lot of that for Parker today. A lot of swinging and missing. There is Blanton, the veteran right-hander, out of the Nats bullpen. And that is the fourth time today that Jared Parker has struck out. In an 0 for 5 day. And Pablo Sandoval will come up.
He's definitely not seeing the ball all that well this afternoon, but he's also getting some pretty nasty pitches thrown against him. But when you're not seeing the ball and you can't foul those off, that's when those hat tricks and golden sombreros end up happening.
So this is the golden sombrero?
4, yeah. I mean, that's what I call it. I haven't been around a lot of those, and I've never done that to a guy before. But,
I hear a lot more pitchers use that terminology than hitters.
Yeah, I don't think the hitters like that word.
Rendon over the second. Sanchez covering for the force out on panic. And now we head to the last half of the ninth inning. Dyson, number 49, will be coming in. Defoe scheduled to lead it off. As we move to the last of the ninth, and there is Sam Dyson now on the mound. Try and close this one out for the Giants. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts. And his numbers since coming to the Giants, and Jeremy, 2.22 ERA, considering that the very first time he pitched, he gave up 3 earnings, 4 total. I think the defense did not play very well behind him in that game, and he was still all kind of screwed up with his mechanics right after he got over. That for the rest of that time, those numbers are even much better than that.
Yeah, he's done great. I think that he was a surprise to everybody, just because I know that when Texas gave up on him, he still had the velocity. He just did, for whatever reason, he couldn't put it all together, and he worked a little bit with Rags and Gardy, and he's throwing it. 96 miles an hour with the movement and the sink that he has, he is filthy. I mean, he's absolutely filthy. Righties hit a little better off him than I think they should for whatever reason. I couldn't give an excuse why, but his stuff is just nasty, man. That good power sinker and late breaking slider. He definitely has done the job for them. You know why Melance's been hurt, and he's still closing. Why they get Melance's feet wet again, but he's done the job that they've asked him to do, and he's probably exceeded some of the expectations.
So Wilmer Defoe, switch hitter, will lead it off. He's 1 for 3, a single and 2 strikeouts. Sandoval plays him shallow at third in deference to his speed. And that's ball 1. Andrew Stevenson is out on deck, a left-handed hitter. There is Tomlinson, one away. Now the Nationals have one hitter on the bench who could hit left-handed. That's Matt Wieters, the catcher, not playing in this first game. And they've got a couple of right-handed hitters, including the veteran Howie Kendrick. We got the lefty Stevenson and the switch-hitting Lobaton. Although now we actually see Kendrick has come out into the on-deck circle. 4-2 Giants. One out in the last of the ninth. Off the foot. Was that his changeup, 88 miles an hour?
It had to have been a changeup. I don't think he throws a split. It was a little too straight for a split, but it did look like the grip was a little bit of a changeup grip right there. He had him out in front. It's like it was the same pitch there again. That's like a palm ball almost, or a circle change. But
Joe Panik throws out Stevenson. 2 down. Stevenson had a couple of hits prior to that. So his big man to keep off the bases. The Nats only need one guy to reach base to send the possible tying run to the plate. So 2 down. Here is Kendrick. Kendrick has seen some of Dyson before. May not have liked it too much. He's 0 for 4 lifetime against him.
there's that slider cutter that he throws to right on the outside corner late. He just seems a lot more comfortable pitching right now than he must have felt with Texas, because the numbers just aren't the same. And to me, the numbers don't make sense with the stuff that he's throwing up there. So I think he's kind of figured something out. Been pitching like it.
2 balls, no strikes to Howie Kendrick, hitting .347. And it's 3-0. Matt Wieters, the switch hitter, has come out into the on-deck circle with the pitcher's spot due next. Got the low strike there. 3-1. Four to 2 Giants. They jumped ahead with a 3-run second, have led ever since. 2 down, nobody on. And a foul out of play. 3-2. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. That one with some strong movement coming back to the plate on the outside. It's all over. The Giants have evened up the series at a game apiece.
He definitely made it look easy, but getting that first game is really, really, really important, and they did a great job. Nice job by Chris Stratton setting the table right there. Key hit, timely hits in the game. Good defense. Bullpen slamming the door when they needed to. Closing the game out quickly. Good game.
Stratton with his first major league win. Dyson with the save. And the Giants with a chance now to take this series. Another game still to come, starting at 4 o'clock Pacific time. The Giants in the first game of the doubleheader beat the Nationals 4-2. Now stay tuned. Esurance Giants post game live starts right now.